Stop screen. There we go. Hello and welcome to the epic conclusion of the second lit month and the first media musings lit month, where we are doing our banned book week special. I see we currently have Linda from A Bit of Tea in Danish in the chat, Sammy Jenkins, Godless Scummer, and that's it currently in the chat, along with whoever's lurking or maybe watching in the future.
They'll get
thank
here.
you. Yeah, thank you for watching. We do have another guest scheduled. She will hopefully be joining us any moment now. Yeah. But yes, so this week we are in fact talking.
Are we talking? We're talking.
Yeah. Yeah, we are discussing banned books for banned book week.
Yeah.
And how's that? This is a infographic put out by the American Library Association, who handles, the banned book week celebrations. Basically started it to raise awareness about censorship. I've got better infographics of more focused infographics for later in the stream, but just kind of an overview on what is a challenge, because they do cover challenges. They do lump it into censorship and attempt to remove or restrict materials or services based on content. Honestly, depending on the issue, I can potentially get behind a challenge. If it's this. Okay, like for instance, if Dune, because I'm currently rereading Dune, if Dune were put in an elementary school, I get behind that challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, I can agree with not having them in a particular space.
Yeah.
So saying this book shouldn't be in primary schools or in high schools, or
in the same way I wouldn't in the same way I wouldn't take a 6-year-old to see Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with age restricting books. That's perfectly fine. But the concept of permanently banned books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I said I can kind of get behind some challenges.
Yeah.
Because
let's be honest, we all had a good giggle back in 2015 when was it the Satanists challenged the Bible?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Because for religious viewpoint.
Yeah.
Which is listen, you can have a Bible on your school bookshelf, but there better be a Quran and a Torah and all these other religious books next to it. Otherwise, I've got issues.
But hold on.
That's
Gonna focus on a couple of quotes on censorship. Had I had a book like that on the shelf, I might have realized a lot sooner that I could love myself. I might have realized a lot sooner that it's okay to feel different. Community member on keeping Prince and Knight on a public library shelves.
Yeah, I have a lot to say on this, because if it wasn't for my local public library, I would have spent a long time as a teenager, a lot longer than I did, being very doubtful about the validity of my own sexuality, and someone's got an echo.
Yeah. Someone. I think it might be you, Jen. I think you might be causing an echo.
Let's see if I can figure out.
Someone else's, but it's yeah.
Yeah, Jen, you're the only one who's not echoing.
Okay. So if.
But.
Yeah, the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime.
Yeah, but obviously I'm a Christian and I take my God very seriously, but if I just simply ban everything that's going to be said about my God or about my faith, then I'm living in my own little narrow world.
And that's the exact opposite reason that we read.
Yeah. And as we can see, 66% of materials banned and challenged have been books. 22% are programs, meeting rooms, 9% displays, 8% films, 5% other, which includes social media, hate crimes, games, filtering database or filtering databases, newspapers, and magazines. So, that 5% is probably also includes Nazis being Nazis and being shut up because they're being Nazis.
Hey, wasn't the Color Purple banned for a long time?
Or
I remember the Color Purple being on a banned books list once.
Or for instance, what's his name? One of the NIFB pastors who got purged from YouTube.
Yeah.
That would be lumped in with there, and I can get behind, because like I said, it includes hate crimes. So some things like that I can get behind because you're advocating genocide, and that's not a good thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Mein Kampf has its place, and it's not in a school library.
Yeah, like I said, Mein Kampf has value as a historical document. However, if you're actively recording, sermons, advocating yourself, advocating for it, then you deserve to face any consequences that may fall for that.
Yeah.
Is that any better, by the way? Is that not echoing?
We're not. Yeah, we've stopped echoing, so.
I muted me for a little while, but I've swapped headphones. No, for some reason, this set of headphones causes echo. Who knew?
That was good, Pop. Also, because I like to do... thematic shirts.
I bought him that shirt from my undergraduate library.
Yeah. Well... Also, to be fair, I'm not sure if this is your shirt or my shirt because I have both of them.
I thought you did. I went looking for mine and couldn't find it.
What a thief!
It's okay. I've got 4 of his hoodies. It's a fair swap. I want it back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'll end up with all of it, won't you? When he eventually gets there.
Eventually. Speaking of which, I do have a Patreon and a Teespring. But, so a little bit more of the more targeted bits of the infographic, because I do have... Because it... the ALA page is being a lovely source and having, all this stuff that you can just take and use for free.
Yeah.
So, I figure might as well use it. Chrome tab.
Also, I have to say, I love the fact the ALA's website, when you click on their tab that says Equity, Diversity and Inclusion, at the very top of the banner, there is simply the word intersections.
Yeah.
And it's the name of one of their blogs, which I love, because intersectional diversity matters, people.
It does.
yeah, just getting that out there.
Okay, so here we have the reasons for challenges. Everybody good at seeing, that showing up will go.
So I'm guessing the larger the text, the more often it was a reason for challenging.
I mean, that seems to be the basic format for this kind of infographic.
Yeah, it looks like a tag cloud, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
But so obviously, it seems like sexually explicit LGBTQIA plus and political viewpoint are all fairly equal.
Yeah. I will say, looking at that tag cloud, if we're going with the bigger words are the ones that have been cited most often as reason for a challenge.
Yeah.
That tag cloud is the exact opposite of what it should be in an ideal world.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, rape is tiny.
Yeah, why are you more concerned with political viewpoints and LGBTQIA plus than you are with racist content, rape, and left quote?
Pornography is tiny. Suicide is tiny.
Spreading misinformation is tiny. Racial slurs is tiny.
But
nudity is big.
Also, I want to know what they mean by inaccurate.
Also,
a loaded term.
Also, I would like to know what is meant by influencing vulnerable young people.
Yeah, that would go along with their sexually explicit and probably
Again, I'm not advocating for Lolita in primary schools. Let me just say that. But
let's be honest about this. All the concepts for transgender characters and gender dysphoria in there are just the current right-wing replacement for gay.
Yeah.
Also,
because they can't sue it about gay anymore. They have to pick the next target.
Also, I will point out what they're saying is they're not talking about transgender politics. They're not talking about
no.
They're saying the existence of a transgender character in a narrative is enough to challenge that book.
Yeah, and that reminds me of something that I'm meaning to tweet out eventually, if I ever get around to it.
Mm-hmm.
But
also, when nudity in books, what would you rather your teenager went to Pornhub?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
When
Sammy Lolita was in my high school and I read it creeped me the hell out. I was way too young to have read that.
When someone says not, I don't want ignoring the whole bit that all media is inherently political, because I've gone on that rant before.
I haven't.
When someone says I don't want my media political and they're protesting the presence of a minority lead or even a minority character, what they're saying is I view the existence of minorities as a political issue.
Yeah. Also, again, they're usually against it. But can I point out, there's this thing I've seen this comment passed a few times around that of minorities should learn to identify with characters that already exist within a narrative, i.e. straight cis. But do you know what? We've been doing that for centuries. Why can't straight cis white people learn to identify with black, transgender, lesbian, gay, female, non-straight cis white male protagonists?
Yeah.
Why should I have to identify with Holden Caulfield and you can't identify with the Black Panther? What's going on there?
Yeah.
Bingo. And it comes down to that whole thing of if you're part of if you're part of that majority, not the minority, if you're part of the majority, you see that any incursion on your space is a personal attack. And yet you want to remove all these things from a minority. You want to say to the minorities, you can't have representation, you just have to appropriate ours.
Yeah.
The thing is, right, the internet, books, libraries are massive spaces, and there's more than enough space for representation across the board. Just because I get representation as a mixed race LGBT female does not mean that you can't have your white, straight, cis
Exactly.
representation. There's space for all of us. All we're asking for is our own little space. We're not asking for yours.
I had to go
when
full screen to see Suicide.
Yeah.
And another thing, if you're going to take it from the literature and put it in the movies, and that character is written to say be a Hispanic, cast a fucking Hispanic to play the role.
Mockingjay.
Mm.
She was not white in that book.
No.
She was not white in the Hunger Games. I do.
Yeah, it frustrates the hell out of me because
Also,
I mean it happens all the time.
Equally, just to put it out there, I promise you, in the canon texts, Hermione Granger was white. She was Whitey McWhite because there is no black girl on the planet who is going out, okay, in a tent with 2 boys for 8 months and doesn't think to walk into a shop and buy 2 bags of rice. Okay? That she was white. I promise you, she was white.
Yeah.
Oh, like, don't get me wrong, the actress who played her, absolutely fantastic, love it. But she was white in the canon text. Fight me. At me if you like, I will come at you with this.
Channel punch you back. I mean, it happens all the time. Characters are miscast for the roles. Now, if it's a fictional character, if it's a truly fictional character, it probably doesn't matter too much. And I know there's that argument that if you're a good actor, you can take on any role. But no, if the character that you're trying to cast is a minority, cast it with a minority.
Yeah.
Get somebody who represents those people to play the role.
Why do they insist on casting trans characters in the quote target gender?
Or okay, let me kind of put it this way. Imagine how much worse, or imagine how Game of Thrones might have been if they hadn't cast Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister.
Half the jokes wouldn't have made sense.
Well, yeah. Well, because Peter Dinklage is actually, a little person.
A little person, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few other famous little people who could have done the job.
Yeah.
But imagine if, they'd have, let's say, for example, they'd have cast his 6'3". Yeah,
and basically did the whole, Lord of the Rings camera angle stuff.
Yeah, why would you cast?
I'm a great believer in, if you are an actor in a majority role and you are taking on a role that was written for a minority, you are, unless there are very extenuating circumstances or it's been done for a political point,
to
make a political point and it's a satire of some form, you are in the wrong and you need to take a step back.
100% agree. I mean, what you were saying before about trans people, I have. Why the hell are you casting men to play trans women and women to play trans men all the time? I mean, for one thing, you shouldn't do that. Get a woman to play a trans woman or a man to play a trans man if you cannot get a trans person.
Yeah. But the thing is, drama kids, traditionally, the drama kids were all LGBTQIA. There are plenty of trans and gay and lesbian and bisexual actors out there, I promise you. They're all out there because they spent their teenage years in sparkles on the school stage. They're there. Yeah. Go find them.
Yeah, there are plenty of them. It's not a problem to get trans. We see them in some movies, especially when they're done by good people. And there's some brilliant trans and gay and lesbian actors and actresses out there. But they're not getting cast in those roles. They're going to cis-het people. And it shits me.
And they're talking about and they're talking about black actors as well. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, how many movies has Spike Lee managed to cast with unnamed and unknown black actors? If he can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or heck, look at Robert Peel, I think it is, who's doing who did Get Out and all those other really good looking horror movies that I probably won't watch because they're horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have diverged from banned books.
Yeah.
So-
Yes, we have.
I was going to
All
say,
feeds into looking at how these books are received.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was actually before I jumped in, you were sort of obviously saying about things how like political things have got their place, even if they're the most abhorrent kind of things. Now,
Yeah.
I mean, and I do wonder where it is we as a society, do we draw a line? Is there? I mean, let's take I'll take, because I was going to mention that a work of fiction, but that has an extremist right-wing agenda and has actually inspired a massive act of terrorism, like the Turner Diaries. Now, does that have a place? Does that have a place? Or I mean, obviously, as it's been going, like, sure as hell, no, I would not want that in any school library. Obviously not. But I do kind of wonder, like, I mean, what do we get on a slippery slope if we ban something like that? But I do actually find it funny, though, that when I look at some of the examples of books that have been banned in the United States, that book is not on that list. Yeah. I mean, this is the book that inspired the Oklahoma City bomber, for goodness sake.
Yeah. So,
if we banned every book because someone problematic read it, we wouldn't have any more books.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So before I bring up the
problematic people who wrote books.
So before I bring up,
we can ban the people, but not their books.
We'll get onto. I'm sure we'll get onto JK at some point.
We've already taken our first swings at the channel punching bag.
Yeah.
But anyways, before I bring up the next infographic, which is about who initiates these challenges and calls for censorship. We're gonna play a little guessing game.
Ooh.
Because kind of turn the table on Jen with her that's news for me.
Okay. Come on.
So I'd like each of you to give me your guess over who what kind of people / organization initiates challenges.
Is the answer Florida Man?
Wow, there probably are a few Florida men.
Yeah, unfortunately, Florida Man is not on the list. But so we're looking at the biggest percentage.
I mean, would I be like wrong in guessing evangelicals?
Yeah, I was thinking probably parents groups. I would imagine, like those suburban
religious parents groups. Yeah.
Okay, so
people who follow Kent Hovind.
Wasn't there a group called the American Library Association that did stuff like this back in the day?
No, the American Library Association is fighting against this kind of stuff.
It's fighting against that.
I would say the Heritage Foundation would be one of the largest callers for banned books.
But
and of course, these new people that the Americans are putting in charge of their education system are going to be, and
of course we're
Republicans.
Okay, so I will put a couple of caveats up. This is specifically talking about 2019, and the statistics used for this infographic was based on 361 responses, so it's not very statistically,
Is it a is it a species of North American ape that's quite common at the moment called the chimpanzee?
Sammy Jenkins.
I do you know what I'm gonna say? I think it might be like groups of people who sort of invest in schools and libraries and stuff. So, the equivalent to the board of governors of a school, but for a library or stuff like that. People who are actually donating to these things and want control. Because that tends to be who it is in museum. In museums.
So the upper 10% wealth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the donators, yeah.
The upper 10% wealth.
Your answer is patrons/donators.
Yeah.
Jen, do you have a final answer?
Republicans.
Is that?
I would say it'd be religious groups, but I'd like the Heritage Foundation.
As much as I'd hate to say, I could actually imagine some of this stuff coming from the left as well.
Oh, I can too.
So, what?
But it'd be a different set of books they're trying to get banned.
But,
yeah.
So, Jen, you're saying organizations. Hissy, you're saying patrons and donors.
Yeah.
Scummer, what's your answer?
I'm just to be different from everyone else. I'm going to say like the political left, even though that's my side. But I do know some people that it wouldn't surprise me.
So political groups. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
YouTube atheists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Hissy actually got it right. 45% of challenges are initiated by donors and patrons.
Yeah, I can see that because people think when they donate, it gives them ownership over certain institutions, and then they try and claim control over the output. That's not what the donation is, folks.
Yeah,
that's the difference between a donation and an investment.
So no one got the second biggest group, which is parents.
Parents.
And I said that first.
Everyone kind of said parents first.
We said political. I think with some of us, political religious groups cover couple of our answers. So that's 12%. That's like the fourth biggest by the look of it.
I'm quite surprised that librarians and I feel like that combination of librarians and teachers is troublesome to me because I will bet money it's not librarians, it's teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's like
religious school teachers.
Yeah, or you'll get like people who try to go into a school library position with an agenda.
Yeah.
Oh, and High Dark and High Santy.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we know that happens.
Yeah.
Anyone who's watched R and Ra's channel for a number of years will probably know some of the battles that he and his wife have had with the Texas Board of Education over certain things. So.
Yeah, and of course, only 1% of challenges actually come from students.
Of course they do. Students love a bit of smutting and a bit of rebellion. Yeah. They're not going to argue against it.
And then 3% come from elected officials.
Only 3%?
Well, that's... Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me because they don't want to get involved unless they have to.
They don't tend to get involved unless there is a... political less like a group has develops enough of a following that it's got political pressure, or it's got one of these groups has got somebody close to a like a politician. Like for example, if people remember back in the 80s with music censorship and the Parents Music Resourcing Centre.
I mean, I don't remember it, but I've heard of it. I'm not old
Okay,
enough.
well, let's just say, do you think Al Gore would have got on board with that if Tipper Gore wasn't like one of the leaders of the PM? Yeah.
To be fair, I can see Al Gore getting on board with trying to ban relax. I can see that.
I don't want to go too far off topic here, but we'll just say there's a brilliant because the main target tended to be heavy metal bands, and there's a brilliant Senate hearing thing with Dee Snider from Twisted Sister going back and forth with Al Gore at a Senate hearing where Dee Snider rips them apart, and it's actually really good viewing. But anyway,
Motorhead songs. They tried to ban a few Motorhead songs as well.
No, anyway.
Since we are expanding out to other forms of media, I'd like to say thank you, Dr. Wortham, and fuck you too. For those of you who aren't aware, Dr. Wortham is probably a figure who will be covered more extensively on subsequent episodes, but he wrote a book called Seduction of the Innocent, which was hello to God the Good One.
Yep, and Microraptor.
But anyways, Dr. Wortham, in his book Seduction of the Innocent was basically the driving force behind the Senate hearings that led to the Comics Code Authority, which basically was the comics industry self-censoring for like 2 to 3 decades.
Wow.
Right, Hissy, I'll just very quickly go through this then. They the music people, they had a list called the Filthy 15, which were 15 artists that were targeted. And they were Prince, Sheena Easton, Judas Priest, Vanity, Motley Crue, AC/DC, Twisted Sister, Madonna, Wasp, Def Leppard, Merciful Fate, Black Sabbath, Mary Jane Girls, Venom, and Cyndi Lauper. And there's a list of the songs as well as into why there was issues with them, but that's what that was. Just so people know.
Yeah.
And from Microraptor, what is a scummer?
That is British football slang, actually, generally used by fans of Portsmouth Football Club to against fans of Southampton Football Club, who I'm a fan of, and I happen to be wearing one of their old shirts today. So I just embrace their derogatory nickname for us.
The Filthy 15 is a great album title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to see Venom on a list with Cyndi Lauper. It really is. But
mixed CD. But, okay.
So shall we talk about some actual band books?
Oh, yes. In fact, I'm about ready to bring up the top 10 list. And, of course, the top is cut off because we're going to be going, 10 to 1.
Yeah, let's do it.
Top 10 most banned books of
yes.
Of 2019.
Can we take some guesses? Oh, 2019.
Yes.
So
you
okay, because some of the ones that were historically,
this still includes ones that were historically banned. It's the top 10 for various countries. So
I think it's the top.
But
10.
they have to still be banned. Isn't it? Is
this just the United States or globally?
Yeah. I think because I'm getting it from the American Library Association. It is
okay. I'm gonna say, let's go through some of the obvious, the ones that historically have been issues. Catcher in the Rye, generally.
Right,
To Kill a Mockingbird has been censored. Of Mice and Men, I think. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, Handmaid's Tale.
So
And Harry Potter, believe it or not.
Harry
has had
Potter's Harry Potter's been banned repeatedly since 03.
Although it probably will get banned less now because because the religious right love her.
Yeah.
There's a brilliant cartoon going around about where there's a whole heap there's religious people praising her and she goes, "Oh, thank you," and then they go, "You realize we're still not going to buy your books."
Yeah. So
wasn't Ulysses by James Joyce was, I don't know if it still is up there, but that used to be censored in places.
Why?
Fuck knows.
So anyways.
Sorry.
So what's your so you know what? To make this quick, pick one book and guess a number for the top. Let's see if it's in the top 10 and how close you can get for 2019 specifically.
For 2019.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say I'll go Catcher in the Rye for number 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Handmaid's Tale, and I'm gonna say 6.
Okay.
Hi, Ilya.
I think it probably knocked Potter out of a higher rank.
It probably did.
It's more timely at the moment. More people are aware of it.
You want to know what I'm thinking?
Ilya.
Oh, hi, Ilya. Lovely.
Are all of these fiction works of fiction, by the way, or are there any that are not?
Oh, there are any non-fictions, yeah.
It seems, possibly. Possibly.
I don't know. I know what is one of the most banned books in Australia, but whether that would fit on the list over there, Lady Chatterley's Lover.
Okay.
Is that still going to be in the top 10 though? Because most people.
Yeah, I don't think it would be. Most people don't know it, but it still is over here.
I think that's been censored in the UK before.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, it's been censored everywhere.
Yeah. Funny thing is now you can buy it as an Amazon ebook, or you can get it on Project Gutenberg for free.
Yeah.
Okay, and unfortunately it's not linked in the description. But seriously,
I know what one of them is. I'm pretty sure I know what one of them is.
If you want to get an ebook of something that was made before the Mickey barrier, go to Project Gutenberg because you'll likely find it there for free.
Hang on, let me.
I've got an idea now. I don't know what number this is going to come in at, but I'll say I don't know I'll just say number 10 because I think it might be on there. The one about Mike Pence's rabbit that John Oliver did as a troll.
Oh,
I wonder if the book about David Cameron's pig's on there.
It would be in the UK.
Marlon Bundo, something Marlon Bundo, but John Oliver did something as a troll and actually had this because somebody was
A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo.
Yeah,
that's going to be well above 10. That's going to be, I think, in the top 5.
Yeah, because this is the one where they actually got he did this as a troll on Mike Pence, and because there was going to be a children's book about Mike Pence's rabbit, but John Oliver got in there first and decided to put the to do this thing, but the rabbit was in a same-sex relationship.
Yeah,
and they got Jim Parsons from the Big Bang Theory to do the audio narration.
So, anyways, we're gonna go for final answers.
The one I'm most confident about is Handmaid's Tale, and I'm going to say 6.
Okay, so Hissy's got Hissy's got Handmaid's Tale at 6.
I said Marlon Bundo at 10, didn't I? And then I think I said Catcher in the Rye at 3.
Okay,
you've got 2, have you?
Those are my 2. Guys, I have 2 guesses then.
Okay, so and Jen.
I have got no idea what you guys would ban over there. Because there's different. Now my headphones falls out. There's different sensibilities in the US to what there is in Australia. So what we end up with banned literature is very different to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine a book in Australia being banned for coarse language.
Yeah.
No, not likely.
Yeah, because we're a bunch of fucking Puritans up here.
Yeah.
You are.
By the way,
having said that, Catcher in the Rye was not on reading lists in Australia for a long time as well. So.
By the way, Ring, should we give the chat a little chance to?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the chat's welcome to go in with guesses. In fact, I think Stan.
I like.
In fact,
Sorry.
Let's see.
I like Microraptor's guess.
Yeah, Microraptor guessed the book series without an author, or rather, the book series whose author is the current Channel Punching Bag.
Yeah, but we know that will be on there anyway.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably 8 or 9.
Yeah, that would be my guess for that.
Yeah, I'd say about that as well, actually. But
Donald Trump's pornographic novels were banned for being offensive to everything.
The Russian girl probably got paid for peeing on him. Don't you know?
It's still porn if she got paid.
I would hazard a guess that in the US, I'd only because they've done novelizations of the comic books to come off the fact that Netflix did a series on it, that Sabrina actually might be in the list.
Okay. So, do you want to hazard a guess at a number?
I'd be fairly way down, so maybe would it be about 7-ish? 7 or 8.
So you've got Sabrina at 7. Hissy, you've got Handmaid's Tale at 6.
Mm-hmm.
Scummer, you're playing the odds with Catcher in the Rye at 3 and A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo at 10.
10, yeah.
Okay, so let's and Sammy Jenkins says Call of the Wild. Has actually I think the Bible has been at least challenged in some situations.
Yeah, I'm sure it was challenged in 2014 or 2015.
The Bible would have been banned in
and actually yes. we do actually I do also have a list, if we want to get into it, of classics, specifically classics that have been banned.
And it just says, has the ever been banned in the country? Now, I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but I would imagine Afghanistan under the Taliban, I'd imagine it was banned.
Yeah.
There be countries now where it's not banned.
And I got a feeling North Korea may be banned. I'm not 100% on that.
I know it was banned in Russia under Lenin. I know it was.
Yeah, and it was probably in China at some point as well.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Yep. Let's see your list.
Okay. I'll try and zoom in a bit.
9 for Harry Potter.
Okay.
9, okay.
So, let's see. So, 10 was And Tango Makes 3. Challenged and relocated for LGBTQIA content. I think that's the one about the gay penguins.
I think so.
Harry Potter at number 9 because it's always been banned and challenged in the US, and in fact has been burned in the US.
I was just going to say I had to double check what you just said. I don't think the Bible was ever officially banned in the USSR, by the way, but it was not.
I'm sure.
I'm getting a feeling that, should we say, it was not officially banned, but kind of. You probably didn't want to be caught with one at times. So
let's see.
Holy
no, it wasn't officially banned.
Yeah.
No, because that's me getting confused with because there was Christian persecution under the Soviet Union.
Officially, there was freedom of religion.
Officially,
yeah.
Let's see. So number 8 is drama.
Okay.
challenge for LGBTQIA plus content and concerns that it goes against family morals and values. So basically
Yay,
saying
Texas.
LGBT, GRSM people exist.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Handmaid's Tale is on that list. Actually.
Hissy, you're actually really close. You were only one off.
One off, yeah.
Yeah. Banned and challenged for profanity and for vulgarity and sexual overtones.
There's a lot of reasons to ban that book. Those aren't any of them.
Yeah.
No.
Number 6 is I Am Jazz.
That's kind of disgusting, considering that's the life story of Jazz Jennings, and
Yeah.
and to say it's politically charged, my ass.
Content
and for having a transgender character and for confronting a topic that is sensitive, controversial, and politically charged. So basically, what they're saying is the existence of minorities is a political issue.
Because that is an a biographical book. It is not a fictional book.
Yeah,
that is about Jazz Jennings, her transition as a kid, because she transitioned really young. So that's a great book to have in libraries for kids to try help them understand themselves. But no, it's sensitive and politically charged. Bullshit.
Yeah. So, number 5, Prince and Knight.
Yeah, it does feature gay marriage and that. But...
for being a deliberate attempt to indoctrinate young children.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
By the way, can I just respond to something in the chat? Microraptor, you're right. You got the countries the wrong way around. It was actually banned in Norway, and Sweden promoted it. It's so funny. It was banned in Norway. So you were almost right on that, but
but didn't they advertise it in the UK? It's so funny it was banned in America.
Yeah,
I remember hearing about that.
No. America had no like blasphemy laws or anything like that.
Challenged and restricted for featuring a gay marriage and LGBTQIA plus content, and for being a deliberate attempt to indoctrinate young children with the potential to cause confusion, curiosity, and gender dysphoria, and for conflicting with a religious viewpoint. Welcome to America.
Child, I wasn't confused about whether I could breathe underwater.
Yeah.
It's just,
These are all basically saying kids are too stupid to know who they are, so we shouldn't show them anything that they're not.
This comes down to that religious thing of your gender identity and your sexuality are a choice. Yeah. So if we give them these things, they might choose to be this, which is just absolute bullshit. People don't choose those things.
Number 4, Sex is a Funny Word by Corey Silverberg. Challenged banned and relocated for LGBT, GRSM content, for discussing gender identity and sex education, and for concerns that the title and illustrations were, quote, inappropriate.
All right, come on, number 3, be Catcher in the Rye. Come on.
That must not be named.
Actually, you know what? Actually, Scummer. You're half right with both your guesses.
Is it Marlon Bundo?
Let's see.
Is it Marlon Bundo?
Number 3. A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo.
So I was half right.
Vandalized.
What the hell do they mean by vandalized? That as in they actually took a black marker to it and crossed words out.
or LGBTQIA content and political viewpoints, and for concerns that it is designed to pollute the morals of its readers, and for not including a content warning.
Oh, fuck off.
Books don't have content warnings. What?
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to look up this vandalized thing.
I mean, to be fair, Harry Potter was vandalized a fair bit as well. There's that Christian woman who rewrote it, wasn't it?
Oh.
While we're waiting for Ring to look that up, can someone please explain to me? Listen, Catcher in the Rye being banned because shooters carried it. There's a lot of reasons to ban that book. The main
That's
one
not
being
one
that
of
it's fucking terrible.
I now want to know what they could possibly say was explicit and biased for number 2.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So someone in Oklahoma defaced it by writing. Okay, so in the book that girl bunnies marry boy bunnies, this is the way that it has always been. Then the person added, because science.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. I have to have a little look at that list of animals that have shown homosexual behaviour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind how rabbits are well known to reproduce, as Jen, I'm sure in Australia you're quite familiar with. That's what happens.
Used to keep rabbits.
Yeah,
Rabbits are horny little shits. So
you
screw anything.
You know what the fuck happened in Australia when we introduced them?
Yeah. So yeah, someone actually wrote in a library book. Okay. So we've got, let's see, number 2, Beyond Magenta, transgender teens speak out.
Well, I'm going to say, apart from a lot of the, but looking at this list here, apart from Harry Potter ones, which come up a lot, it's not a lot of the classic ones that have had.
I think the classic list is separate, isn't it? Though for this.
Well, no. I do think earlier lists did have more classic books that have been challenged, but considering the way politics are in the U.S., it's not really surprising that the list is all LGBT content for kids.
Yeah. I like this effect on any young people who would read it. You mean like they might not grow up to be bigoted little shits?
Or they might realize that it's okay to feel how they're feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
and for Kurt, concerns that was sexually explicit and biased.
You don't think that perhaps your ideas of having it not put on the shelves was fucking biased?
Yeah. Please give us one. Just make this. Let's see if the Christians are actually writing the Bible's banned.
Okay, so let's see.
Well, definitely it's definitely another LGBT.
Yeah,
George.
It's not the Bible.
George.
It's not the Bible.
And it's another trans character.
Yeah, of course.
They don't. It's like trans folks. These people.
But well, that's the point. That because the Christian right has effectively viewed it that they've lost their fight against gay marriage and homosexuality and everything. Yeah, their concept is to move back, attack trans people, try and win that fight, and then move back from there to remove rights from.
So Beyond Magenta was only challenged. George has been challenged, banned, restricted, and hidden to avoid controversy.
How the hell do you hide a book in a library?
Yeah.
Under the desk of the librarian so they can read it when the kids aren't around.
Yeah, because schools and libraries should not put books in a child's hand that require discussion.
Oh, fuck off!
What?
That's exactly what books are for.
Yeah.
Well,
and for conflicting with a religious viewpoint and a traditional family structure.
Yes, but a traditional family structure says my father should have sold me when I was 12 for 2 camels and a bag of rice.
Any of you ever got the? By the way, you speak at the library. Says anyone ever got the idea to move copies of the Bible into the fiction section just to annoy?
I did that at high school.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
You see, there's a friend of mine who used to manage a branch of W.H. Smith, And W.H. Smith used to have a section called. Now, I've got to explain something. This friend of mine was also a fan of Manchester United. Okay, now,
I'm not going to drink until you've finished. I've decided.
yeah. Well, W.H. Smith had this little section in their like their section of books to sell called Tragic Life Stories. So I went and grabbed every copy of Paul Scholes' autobiography and put it in there.
That's mean. Oh, it's brilliant, but it's mean.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're not gonna play a guessing game with this one because it's just it's not numbered.
Oh, okay.
But so we're gonna go through it and we're gonna say basically just do a quick, did you read it? Did you like it? Yes or no?
Oh, okay.
Which traditional family structure? They need to be more specific. We're talking about the Puritan one because this is America.
Ay. America doesn't have traditions. It just has, like...
Puritans.
Yeah.
So, banned and
America's
challenged.
not old enough to have traditions.
So, okay, is this legible or do I need
Yeah,
to...
that's legible. It's fine.
Catcher in the Rye.
So, first on the list is The Great Gatsby.
Oh.
Read it.
Never read it.
I've read it. I found it... I think liked is the wrong word for it. I found it interesting as a literary text.
Yeah.
I had to study it at A level. And it was probably one of the hardest books I've ever had to read purely because I couldn't stand the protagonists.
Yeah. It was challenged at the Baptist College in Charleston, South Carolina in 1987 because of language and sexual references.
What language? Have they even read it?
There is sexual innuendo in that.
Someone over in the middle of the road and doesn't even bother to stop and apologize and shows no compunction, but you have issues with sexual references to frigging 1920s dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a Baptist a Baptist college in South Carolina.
In 87.
Yeah. But, okay, so let's see. Catcher in the Rye, and I think this is, like, one of the ones that's got, like, a million different...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Ring, fair warning, hashtag hissy fit incoming.
Okay, yeah, I'll get the banner up.
Go, hissy.
I hated this book. With a vengeance.
I haven't read it.
Read it as a teenager for school, and it was absolutely... The kid is a whiny, bratty, nihilistic little asshole with literally no redeeming features and a ego the size of Mount Everest or some shit. I don't... Anyone who identifies with that character on any level, I don't know who you are. You may be people I love, but you need therapy. Please go get it.
Yeah. It's what I'd heard about it, and I never got assigned it as a lit book, so I never read it. So
Microraptor on The Great Gatsby. Was a lady showing her ankles?
Fluffy dresses, they show their knees.
Yeah.
Knees, yeah, they do.
Oh, scandalous.
Mm.
But, okay, so...
Do you think Marilyn Monroe and
why was Catcher in the Rye challenged? I'd like to know why.
There's a bunch of reasons.
They're all there.
There's a scene in it where he literally tries to order a hooker.
Yeah, okay, so a teacher in Oklahoma in 1960, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a teacher was fired for assigning the book to an 11th grade English class. The teacher appealed and was reinstated by the school board, but the book was removed from use in the school.
Yeah.
Oh, a delegation of parents in Columbus, Ohio, asked the school board to ban the novel for being anti-white and obscene.
It's only
The board
anti-white
refused.
if you... What? Anti-white where? It's not anti-white, it's anti-upper class. It shows the nasty, seedy side of the upper classes.
Yeah, that was probably why they wanted it removed.
Yeah, removed from the Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania suggested reading list based on parents' objections to the language and content of the book. School board voted 5-4 to ban it. And this was 1975.
Depending on what they mean by content of the book, I can see that. What's the name of the... How old were the students?
It doesn't say.
High school students, isn't it? High school finishes at... See, I read this when I was 14 and it wasn't too obscene. It wasn't considered obscene. It was part of course. But I was in the advanced English class.
Yeah. So, challenged as an assignment in an American literature class in Pittsgrove, New Jersey, 1977. It could be read in advanced placement, but they gave parents right to decide whether or not their children would read it. Oh, it's not any of the books on this list. It's a Sherman Alexie book. But we were assigned a the class I was in. I was, junior year of high school, I think. It was either junior or sophomore because I had the same teacher for both years. And we got a Sherman Alexie book. I forget the title, but it needed a waiver. My mom read like the first page of that book and wouldn't sign the waiver, so I got assigned an alternative Sherman Alexie book because he was the author we were studying. And
I'd have just forged his signature and never showed her the letter.
Well, and she wasn't happy that I read the alternate book either after looking at it. But I grew up in one of those homes.
See, my parents, that's one thing. Unless a librarian told my parents it was too explicit or too traumatic for me to read. Like I tried to read About a Boy when I was 12.
Yeah.
Which, way too young for that. That's the only book my parents have ever stopped me reading.
Mm-hmm.
Removed from the Issaquah, Washington optional high school reading list. Removed from a required reading list in Middleville, Michigan. Unless any... Okay. Removed from school libraries in Manitoba, along with 2 other books because they violate the committee's guidelines covering excess vulgar language, sexual scenes, things concerning moral issues, excessive violence, and anything dealing with the occult.
Wait, the occult?
The occult.
Yeah, apparently.
And
Have I blanked out some major part of that book because I don't remember anything occult in it?
It said it was along with 2 other books, so maybe the other books removed along with it touched on the occult. Because it looks like it's quoting the guideline. It's probably just quoting the guidelines.
Oh.
And challenged in Libby, Montana. Only a couple hours for me. Tiny little podunk town in the middle of nowhere.
That tracks.
Yeah. Napoleon, North Dakota. Wyoming.
What's the most recent for this?
It looks like it's in chronological order.
2009.
Oh shit. Okay. Fun. The most recent one listed. Big Sky High School, Missoula, Montana. It's not my high school, but it's my hometown. Wow.
Wow.
Stay classy.
Oh,
Yeah, we're the liberal island. We're supposed to be chill.
in 2009 as well.
Yeah.
But that was challenged. It wasn't actually banned.
Yeah, it was challenged. It wasn't actually banned.
So the last time it was removed was in 2001.
Yeah, because it's a filthy, filthy book.
Because
It's a terrible book. And listen, do you know what? Catcher in the Rye, right? It's a terrible book that is not worth the paper it's printed on. And that would it just be one copy, never. It's the only book I've ever actively burned when I was finished with it. I wouldn't even donate that book. It was that bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but of all the reasons listed in that list as you've scrolled through, none of them are the reasons why that book should be banned.
No.
So much
This
for
is
Montana
religious
children.
people.
So we had a bit of a ring fit.
Shall we move on to the Grapes of Wrath?
Oh, I haven't read this one. I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
I've seen one of the early movies.
The only I've only read 2 Steinbeck novels. One was The Red Pony, which is dark and terrible because it's John Steinbeck, and The Pearl, which is actually really good.
Yeah,
I don't like
the one I actually have read.
I've not read any of his stuff.
Oh, so the Grapes of Wrath was burned by the East St. Louis Public Library on the grounds that vulgar words were used. Okay, so Scummer, any last words about
Catcher in the
Rye?
So I was away for a few minutes. Overrated book, in my opinion. I read it a long time ago, but a lot of it stuck out. Overrated, in my opinion.
That's one of those books my teachers loved and I trashed, so I got an A star in the essay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see.
But then, see, it's weird. Some of the books, so I never got that at school. It's weird. Some of the books I got some good ones at school. I was quite lucky. Yes. But I'm amazed that just because how sensitive the teachers were to swear words or whatever, that they allowed us to read Kestrel for a Knave, which is a brilliant book. You know, and if you're not familiar with that, there's a film version of that called Kes, which is made by Ken Loach, which is also a brilliant film, but the book is even better.
Okay.
I will say, can someone please explain to me, just going back to Catcher, the logic of setting Catcher in the Rye to an all-girls class of 15-year-olds? What were we expected to get from that? Like, at all?
Boys are terrible, terrible people.
I mean, yeah, because the school did teach an abstinence only. So
for those of you that need some wholesomeness, I'll drink out of my 8-bit LeVar Burton Reading Rainbow mug.
Of course you will. Should I go get my Snape Chibi mug?
Yeah. So anyway,
Chibi Snape.
I need my Chibi Snape.
So I think for these really long ones, we'll just pick out interesting bits and then just skip to the most recent.
Well, 11 Turkish book publishers went on trial before an Istanbul marshal.
Faced possible sentences of between 1 month and 6 months imprisonment for spreading propaganda unfavorable to the state and confiscation of their books. 8 booksellers were also on trial with the publishers on the same charge involving the Grapes of Wrath.
That's an interesting one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to say I was quite amazed. I've just pulled up the list of books that have been banned in the UK over the years, and I thought we'd come out a lot worse than this. America's had a lot more issues.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But let's
one
see.
of them, I do remember Spycatcher in 1985 being banned because of
this one's pretty
because of
interesting.
Official Secrets Act.
This one's pretty interesting for me. It's bound or it's banned in the scene where it was banned in 1939 in the county where it takes place.
Yeah. I tell you what, I don't have much to say on this book, but what I'm quite curious about, what's striking me, is the reasons for a lot of these bans.
Yeah. Wow, the most recent one challenge was in 1993. Wow.
Yeah, in Tennessee. But
I love the 91 one though. Challenged because the book uses the name of God and Jesus in vain.
Check out the quote in the 1986 one.
Let's see.
My son is being raised in a Christian home, and this book takes the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I don't know. I like the 1981 Vermont one. High school English challenged as required reading for high school English students due to the book's language and portrayal of a former mister who recounts how he took advantage of a young woman.
Like, that doesn't happen in real life at all.
Yeah.
At least that's a better reason than some of the others, though.
I'm going to say that there seems to be they don't still like John Steinbeck, because I seem to remember of Mice and Men's was challenged.
Of Mice and Men is going to pop up later in this list.
Okay.
To Kill a Mockingbird had to be here, didn't it?
Oh,
I can't wait for Satanic Verses to pop up.
But so most recent 1993 challenged. Most recent removal was 1982.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
all right.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay, hold on. Am I reading that top bullet point right? That's the reason they wanted to ban this book.
Due to words "damn" and "whore lady" used in the novel.
There are a lot worse words used in that book.
Especially not in 1977. Really?
Yeah. Challenged in the Vernon, New York school district as a filthy, trashy novel.
My problem now is all I can picture is some matronly, old grandmothery type going, "Oh, it was a filthy, trashy novel."
Yeah,
okay.
It's like
that's exactly what that comes off as.
Okay, challenge.
It was a filthy, trashy novel, and it's bouquet, not bucket.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Yes.
Yeah, so
this is it. This one's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So challenged in Warren, Indiana. So
Hey, Ring, you might want to scroll up given the words that are appearing on the screen right now.
Okay.
The next one down.
Yeah.
Scroll it down. Yeah. Take it down and more.
Yeah.
Wrong way.
There we go. That's fine.
I thought you wanted to read the other one.
Yeah, we're gonna. Okay, so
We'll
removed
skip
in
through that.
2009.
No, we'll skip right past it. Yep.
Yeah.
For that.
No, we're just gonna skip To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah. Not like the Colour Purple's any better, to be fair.
Yeah. Racial slurs. Okay.
Can I point out? I've read The Colour Purple. I love The Colour Purple. It's a wonderful book. It's very intelligently written.
The movie is awesome.
Yeah.
Redemption too.
The book is written in the style of letters, backwards and forwards, like diary entries. And it's beautiful. And it was the first book I ever read with a lesbian relationship in it. And it was an interracial lesbian relationship.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
Okay.
It is.
And for all those reasons, right-wing people hate it.
First challenge was 2 years after it was published.
Yeah, because it probably took the idiots that long to read it.
Sexual and social explicitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of racial tension. Do you know the story of The Colour Purple?
Oh, yeah. I haven't read the book.
For those who don't,
I've seen the movie, but that's
for those who don't, quick summary of the plot. Young girl raised in a sexually and verbally, physically abusive household, marries a sexually, verbally, physically abusive man. falls in love with a white female singer, and runs away. It's basically a broad overview of the plot. And it does get quite explicit in the things her father did to her. So this is one. It's a beautiful book. I probably read it a bit too young because I read it when I was like 14.
Yeah.
But there are explicit depictions of sexual assault in there. So I can see why you would want to restrict it. I wouldn't say to. Sorry, it's not smut. It's rape. Just FYI.
But,
it's not smut.
10th. A 10th grader is. We're talking 15 to 16-year-old.
Oh no, that's old enough to read it.
Yeah, that's old enough. But I do agree with the one further up where it's probably a bit too sexually graphic for a 12-year-old.
Definitely. I think, but I wonder if they took issue with the sexually graphic depictions of what her father did to her, or with the chaste kisses she had with her girlfriend.
Yeah,
that I would be interested.
But again, a lot of this.
Was Virginia.
A lot of this goes back though to obviously what kind of audience you want.
The too sexually graphic for a 12-year-old was Michigan.
Yeah, but that's probably a fair enough
statement. I'd even agree with that.
Yeah,
it's like let's look back to a lot of things. Like for example, I like Stieg Larsson's Millennium series, but I wouldn't want the girl with a dragon tattoo in a blooming school library with a 13-year-old to read it.
Yeah.
Before you scroll up, I do take things with the it was placed in a special section accessible only to students over the age of 18. Oh, it's or. I thought that was a I didn't see the or there. Whoever had permission from a parent. I'm like, hang on, why would an 18-year-old need a written permission from a parent?
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Hold on. How many 18-year-olds are there in schools in America?
A few.
Yeah. Because most people spend at least a quarter of their have at least a quarter of their senior year after they turned 18.
I will say I read that book, like I said, when I was about 14. It was in my secondary school library, so 11 to 16. It was not a popular book in the library. My A-level English lit teacher was surprised that I'd already read it because it was on the reading list.
Yeah, challenged because the character's raped by a stepfather. Yeah, I get that, but not so much in a high school. I could understand it in primary school, but not so much in a high school.
Yeah.
Depending on what...
The age, great. Yeah.
So, the Colour Purple Microraptor had the lesbian relationship between the two women. But I felt like, if anything, the Colour Purple to me was not great LGBTQ representation.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Because it did sort of pitch it as she went with a woman because she was afraid of men. And that, to me, it wasn't great.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
So
no, I think
to be fair, I've known women who've done that, but
it's like a lot of those.
But I mean, you kind of have to be bi in the first place. You can't just.
No. Some of the women I know were straight as a die, and then they just got sick of men.
Most recent challenge was 2008. Most recent removal was 1999
in Ferguson. Is that the Ferguson where the riots were a few years back?
Where are you seeing Ferguson?
Looking at that?
Removed 1999. Ferguson High School.
That looks like Ferguson, Virginia.
Oh no, that's Ferguson, Virginia.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but the 99 one wasn't actually. It was put so you could only get it with parental approval. So that's not exactly the same.
If a kid under 16 came to me and said, I want to read this book, it would have to be discussed on a case-by-case basis with the kid.
Yeah.
It's not a book I would leave open to anyone under the age of about 15.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So next up is Ulysses by James Joyce.
I said that this one was banned in Britain.
Banned!
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Burned in the U.S. 1918, Ireland 1922, Canada 1922, England 1923, and then banned in England in 1929.
Yep, it was overturned. It was overturned in 1936 in the UK, but so it was banned for about 7 years.
Okay, but why was it banned?
In the US, saw sexual content is one of the.
Hey, you should
Things I'm
read what
reading,
it's
yeah.
based off if you think it's bad.
Yeah.
But
Banned
so
by the way, banned in Australia as well from 1929 to 1937.
Yeah.
so
Yep.
Beloved by Toni Morrison. Haven't heard of it.
Never heard of it.
No, I've never read
The
it.
name rings a
Nah.
bell.
Well,
No.
looking looks like it's since the challenges are starting in 1995. I'm guessing it's fairly recent.
Compared to the rest of these books, yes.
Yeah.
But I've never even heard of this book. I've got to be
Hey,
honest.
Ring, watch how far you scroll down for the next one. I found the
Oh,
link
yeah.
you're working from. Watch how far you scroll down.
Yeah. So let's see.
Oh. Okay.
Lord of the Flies.
For the racist language in it, I can understand restricting it. I can
Yeah.
understand restricting it to say over 16s, over 15s.
Yeah.
My high school taught it, my secondary school taught it to 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
13-year-old girls.
Wow.
Again,
Yeah.
another book that I read. To me, what bothered me about that book was not necessarily even the racist tones or anything else. It was the sheer violence.
Oh, yeah. It is a violent book.
I'm one of those readers. I had the same problem with The Shining. It gave me nightmares for weeks.
Yeah.
Just because of the way it's written gets into your head. And this book really does that. So I would say this is one of those books. I don't agree with it being banned, but I do think it should be carefully considered with regards to what age you introduce this to a child.
And yes, there is a racial slur used in the list.
Yeah.
So
this next one makes me laugh.
It's mostly been challenged.
Not banned.
But demoralizing in as much as it implies man is little more than an animal.
Oh.
There's a lot of reasons it's demoralizing. That's one of
okay.
low on the
So
list.
I'm gonna zoom in because
scientifically speaking, that's accurate. But
I'm gonna zoom in because it makes it easier to. Oh.
Yeah, this one, Jeff. I dare you to read this sentence and not crack up laughing.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
that is your dare.
I can't see this. I can't see this.
Yeah, I gotta scroll back down. Because I'm trying to, so.
I'm literally trying to understand the reasoning for this.
1984.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, someone didn't read the book before they challenged it.
Jesus Christ. Now, you want to say homage to Catalonia or some Orwell's earlier stuff? There might be an argument to be fucking had, but
yeah, like definitely.
But even then, he wasn't really a communist. I don't know if you read that.
And I know Animal Farm is on this list as well.
For what?
That doesn't surprise me.
But yeah. So have we left that long enough or should we explain why this is so absurd?
Can we make sure people obviously can you actually read this on the screen, by the way? Because
challenge.
Yeah, I'll read it. Challenged in Jacksonville County, Florida in 1981 because Orwell's novel is, quote, pro-communist and contained explicit sexual matter. I can't believe I managed to do that with a script.
1984, like a commentary against Stalinism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communist.
Yeah.
That's why I just thought I'll let Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think that old joke's been said a few times.
Yeah.
George Orwell was alive today. He said, "Oh, I didn't write 1984 as a fucking instruction manual."
Yeah.
Mm.
So we've got next up is Lolita.
I will say though, before we go on with 1984.
Yeah.
For me, again, this is another book I read too young because you'll realize that's a recurring theme because my parents never limited what I could read. They bought it for my 12th birthday for me when I asked for it, and I read it, and it made me depressed for about a fortnight because I was quite an advanced reader and I actually understood what it was talking about.
Yeah.
I think I read it too young, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say just again, it's a depressing book.
I read it a little later.
Right up there with the worst of grimdark comics.
I read it when I was about 14, but I hadn't really. Maybe there was a lot of the context missing of what it was about that I didn't understand when I first read that.
Honestly, when it comes to Orwell, I prefer Animal Farm to 1984, but that's because I like more narrative.
Yeah, see, I prefer 1984 because it's more. There's a lot more being said in it, whereas Animal Farm's a bit more simplistic. But I understood the history behind it. Obviously, being raised by a Polish person, it's kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
So, I got really depressed reading that. Sorry, not my birthday, Christmas, the year I turned 12.
Yeah.
So I'd read it by New Year's.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty impressive. I mean, considering I know how slow I am to read books with the dyslexia, I'm impressed by that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far off of. I don't want to get off topic with this, but just respond to what Micro Raptor said. I actually view like Stalinism as state capitalism, not communism.
Yeah,
it's a
bastardization
of what communism is supposed to be.
The closest Russia ever got to communism was probably the New Deal.
Well, 1917 for about 2 or 3 months,
and of course, the next one is actually referenced in a Police song.
Oh,
Lita.
Yep. Do we want to skip Lolita?
We may as well.
Yeah, we may as well.
We know why Lolita was banned.
We know why Lolita was banned. It's an interesting book, but I cannot justify saying that this is suitable for minors.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
I agree.
It was banned as obscene in France, English, Argentina, and New Zealand.
There's also a Smokey song about it.
Is there?
And then challenged in Florida in 2006.
If you are putting that book anywhere, anyone under the age of consent in your area can read it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Well, the Marion County Commissioners voted to have the county attorney review the novel to determine if it meets the state law's definition of unsuitable for minors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically the one recent example they give is obviously that you actually did good.
Yeah, no, I mean,
you actually did a good job, Florida.
It has literary merit and it is an important text. It is not a text I would show to anyone under the age of 16. And 16 is the age of consent in my area.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Let's play a guessing game. This next book was challenged by the KKK.
Oh, please don't tell me it would not be the Turner Diaries. No fucking way.
No.
Challenged by the KKK.
Yeah, due to profanity and using God's name in vain.
That could be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really could.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
okay. It's
we're
mostly because profane use of God's name, vulgar and offensive. But takes the Lord's name in vain.
They burn crosses.
Yeah.
They illuminate crosses, is what their argument.
Yeah, this one's
With
got.
fire.
Yeah, this one's a long list. Let's see. Most recent. Okay, most recent was 2007. Okay. Do you want?
Who wrote it?
That'd give it away.
Author.
That'd give it away.
I'll give it.
This isn't the story about Malcolm X, is it?
Okay.
Hold on. Lord of the Flies, maybe?
Nope. We already did Lord of the Flies.
All right.
We did too.
Of Mice and Men.
I
remember the KKK took issue with Of Mice and Men.
Oh, yeah,
you got it.
Coming up as well. He said that was coming up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no! Are you joking?
Yeah. Challenging Greenville, South Carolina by the fourth province of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan due to profanity and using God's name in vain.
Oh wow!
And yeah, this is another one that's got like a million different bannings and challengings.
This was another one that was taught in my secondary school.
Yeah.
It's like my secondary school was really weird about the education, because in English literature, it's almost like they went out of their way to set really controversial books to all classes.
Steinbeck's okay. I'm gonna have to show this one. Challenged as required reading because of profanity. Coalition of community members and clergy in Mobile, Alabama, requested the local school officials to perform a special textbook screening committee to weed out objectionable things. Of Mice and Men was the first target because it contains profanity and morbid and depressing themes. That's every Steinbeck book ever.
That's really every piece of literature ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Offended the KKK. Let me play the world's smallest violin.
Basically the origin of modern misery porn. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I'm sure I could offend them more.
Let's see. Temporarily removed in.
I offend them just by breathing. I'm mixed race.
Temporarily removed from Hamilton, Ohio, high school reading list after a parent complained about his vulgarity and racial slurs.
Okay, can I just put something out there? I think I'm the only one of us on here right now who's mixed heritage.
Yeah.
Just because a book has racial slurs in it doesn't mean it doesn't have value and validity.
But
exactly.
You cannot defeat the existence of racism by ignoring it.
It's a good thing I clicked off for scrolling through.
Let's put it this way: not a book, but I'm rewatching a TV series called The Wire at the moment for about the 6th time, which is one of the greatest social commentaries on America ever made. But yeah, let's just say the N-word must get used about a dozen times an episode.
Yeah, takes God's name in vain 15 times and uses Jesus's name lightly. 1998.
How do you use Jesus' name lightly? Do you put it down very gently?
Yeah.
You write with the pen very gently using
Jesus.
a pen.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
See, now that's making me think of the Jesus butt plug James or Dawn.
Jesus.
Let's see. Most recent challenge was 2007. Most recent ban was 2002 because of profanity.
Wow.
I feel like we went through a phase in the early 2000s where we got so sensitive to racial language
Yeah.
that we were unwilling, that the use of it just completely switched us off to anything a text might have to say.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
I really don't.
the trend for banning and challenging mice and men went from profanity and vulgar to profanity, vulgar, and it uses slurs, and it doesn't. It's not charitable towards the developmentally disabled.
Let's put it this way. All the slurs I ever learned did not get learned from books or television or all of profanity or slurs ever. They actually got learned from people around me.
Okay.
So,
But most recent one of Mice and Men retained
this 22. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, retained despite a parent calling the novel a worthless, profanity-riddled book, which is derogatory towards African Americans, women, and the developmentally disabled.
Okay, I want to know why they thought it was just moving on. I want to know why they thought it was appropriate to ban a satirical novel.
Yeah,
I didn't see the irony of that.
Yeah.
Well, because they didn't see the irony of it. That's why.
Exactly.
And challenged in Texas and in Snoqualmie, Washington, because of its several references to women as whores. And it was only
satire went straight over someone's head, didn't it?
Yeah. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
Oh, there's a surprise.
Huxley.
It got banned because it told the truth.
Oh, brilliant!
Okay. What? Aldous Huxley. Why would you mislead people like that?
Yeah. Because of the book's language and moral content. I haven't read Brave New World.
Again, another one I read way too young.
Yeah.
I promise you, it's.
Oh wow! Oh, that must have been a Christian school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably Catholic. Given that it's California, probably Catholic.
The Corona Norco Unified School District, an entire school district.
Holy crap!
I
was only challenged though. Okay.
Yeah, since we're talking Aldous Huxley, it was probably only removed from like the middle and high school in the town.
Yeah.
But let's see, the book was retained, and the teachers selected alternatives if students object to the novel.
How the hell can you object to something you haven't read?
Because parents told them to.
Yeah.
And the parents probably hadn't read it either.
A parent complained about that his characters showed contempt for religion, marriage, and family.
I'm sorry. If you've got Catcher in the Rye in your school, you shouldn't have any problem with this book.
She went full Karen.
She went full Karen.
She went full Karen.
Karen.
Okay, let's see. And despite objections that the book has too many references to sex and drug use.
How many is too many?
Yeah.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. So maybe we should wait for Scummer to come back before we move on to the next one.
I want to know how many references to sex and drugs is too many, because then I want to write a book with exactly one more than that number in it.
Yeah.
You want a banned book, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You know how to do that at the moment? You've got to write one about LGBT stuff.
Hey, listen. The surefire way to make anything sell is to get it banned. That's why Ding Dong Wicked Witch is Dead went to #1 the week Maggie Thatcher died.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Told you it was fundamentalist mothers.
Should
I was reading Mills and Boons from when I was 11 because my mum had them in the house.
So if you wrote a book that mirrored society and you made it that cishet people were the minority and they were struggling to...
That's being done in Noughts and Crosses, and I'm surprised that wasn't on a list somewhere.
Yeah.
Although that was black and white, that was like...
Animal Farm.
Oh, that had to be there.
Yeah.
It objected to specific words in the novel.
Yeah.
Holy...
Masses will revolt.
Listen, Animal Farm is not Orwell's best work, I don't
Yeah.
think, by a long shot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it has its uses, and it's a very good
Okay.
introduction to the Russian Revolution.
Yeah.
It is. It's a very good introduction to the Russian Revolution and the USSR from a point of view of teaching kids about the history of it.
Yeah.
Because they will recognize that plot when they come to study it, and it will help them understand what's going on.
Okay.
But
So, yeah. Unfortunately, Jeff's going to be a few minutes, but I love this. I love this irony. So, its findings identified the novel on its list of problem books. The reason cited was that Orwell was a communist.
But what?
And then next line, suppressed from being displayed at the 1977 Moscow, Russia International Book Fair.
Dead. Ring #flail dead. Scum is his face palming violently.
Yeah.
Oh, Microraptor's got a point with this one.
Yeah.
They dislike certain words, like how Big Brother controls the language in
Yeah.
1984.
Yep.
And let's see.
Political theories.
Yeah.
What? The political theories that animals shouldn't... What?
The political allegory that Stalin was a nutcase and was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You killed me, I'm dead. Oh, my dear gosh. Some of these books were my favourite books growing up.
Yeah.
Banned from schools in the United Arab Emirates.
To be fair, it does have pigs in it.
In
And
this
alcohol,
text,
yeah.
pictures of alcoholic drinks, pigs, and other indecent images.
I mean, to
So,
be fair,
alcohol-
it's not
So
it's not an Islam friendly book.
Yeah. I mean, it's got pictures of pigs drinking and having sex. So yeah.
And okay, so Ernest Hemingway.
Oh God, all of his books should just be banned on principle that they're terrible.
Oh wow. You agree with Nazis?
Wow.
No, I don't agree with Nazis because we probably hate it for very different reasons.
Yeah.
I just can't stand Hemingway's writing style.
Yeah. Well, okay, no, you said
Isn't
banned,
the
not
old
burned.
man in the sea fucking boring?
Okay.
Hemingway doesn't know how to string together a proper coherent sentence.
Yeah.
He doesn't. It is so boring.
Oh.
As I Lay Dying, William Faulkner.
I don't know that
I
book.
think I read
Neither
this
do I.
once. It rings a bell.
Yeah.
Maybe the real reason for all these bans is Hissy liked it. If Hissy likes the book, it gets banned.
Let's see.
That's probably a good way of...
Most recent was okay. In Louisville, Kentucky, because
I like the one above it, though. It has profanity in a segment about masturbation.
Yeah.
And this one says profanity and questions the existence of God. So I've got to wonder now whether they're being profane, masturbating,
hold
and
on.
questioning the existence of God all at once.
So all of these examples are in Kentucky. Kentucky hates Faulkner.
Oh, brilliant. They are, aren't they? Wow.
Yeah, let's see. Offensive and obscene passages referring to abortion and the use of God's name in vain. Profanity and a segment about masturbation. Profanity and questions the existence of God.
I have
So
one response to those bullet points. Jesus fucking wept.
Yeah. Kentucky fried Christ.
Obviously, after Jesus masturbated.
Yeah.
I mean, quite literally, Kentucky Fried Christ for him.
A farewell to arms, Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, God.
I refer you to my previous comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Challenged in 1980 as a sex novel.
I've read plenty of sex novels. That's not that. No.
No,
in Italy because of its painfully accurate account of the Italian retreat from Caporetto.
Really?
It was banned because it told the historical truth. Okay.
Yeah. So,
I was listening. I was listening in whilst I was away.
Yeah.
I will say, Hissy, if you're gonna ban books on count of them being shit, Hemingway is gonna seem like high art if you read anything by Dan Brown.
Yeah.
If you read
I never said I wouldn't ban Dan Brown.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Hemingway is gonna seem like fucking high art in comparison.
Dan Brown can string a sentence together.
Yeah, Hemingway is incredibly boring. He is so hard to read. He is so boring.
Listen, the most interesting thing about Hemingway is his cats. Not his books, his cats. And that tells you everything about the man's writing. People remember him because he owned a bunch of odd cats, not because he wrote any books.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I've got to admit, I've tried to read a couple of Hemingway. I can't. I just couldn't get on with it.
Hemingway is not the most boring author I've ever read.
Also,
have you ever read? Sorry.
If that's the case, if the case for the reason all the bans is Hissy liked it, then Dune will never be banned, and I'm happy with that.
Although, speaking of Hemingway and garbage authors, is Cormac McCarthy on this list?
I don't know. We'll see.
We don't think so.
One of the worst
I don't know
books
if you
read,
saw.
all the Pretty Horses.
Have you ever read any Solzhenitsyn? Hissy? Don't.
By the way, I don't know if you saw I put on the chat when you talked about, because I think this is about Animal Farm, political theory.
Yeah.
Now, there was only one, and I did put this in the chat. I don't know if you saw it, but there's only been one political theory type thing that's actually, well, I say actually technically two. I suppose something John Milton wrote was banned, but the only thing that was an actual political theory thing that was banned in the UK, and the author was charged with treason. Was The Rights of Man by Thomas Paine.
Ah, okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So,
which I would recommend to read to anyone. But,
so next, Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston.
Again, they objected to it because of language and sexual explicitness. It's going on my reading list.
Yeah. And Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison.
Again,
really?
That one I've come across.
Retained after a 5-month dispute over what advanced high school students should read in the classroom. 2 parents raised concerns about profanity and images of violence and sexuality in the book and requested it be removed from the list.
If this is a school thing, though, I'm more inclined to let shit go on that.
Yeah, what advanced high school students should read?
Yeah.
The answer is very simple. Whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
If you're talking advanced high school students,
Advanced high school, yeah, because we're assuming we're talking here, 17, 18 years old.
we're talking,
Yeah.
we're talking like, probably, 16, 17, 18-year-olds in AP English.
We're talking about 13-year-olds. Yeah, that might be a different matter altogether. But I mean, which I said, I wouldn't necessarily mind having like they do on films or whatever, having a recommended age. I wouldn't object to that.
Yeah, that's kind of my point of view. But let's see, Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison.
Why does that ring a bell?
Wasn't one of his books in that other list, Toni Morrison, that one earlier?
I mean, to be fair, the biblical Songs of Solomon aren't exactly PG-13.
Okay, let's see.
No.
Complaint believes that the book contains language degrading to African Americans and is sexually explicit.
It's about an African American man.
Parent complained that the passages from the book are filthy and inappropriate.
Which means there's sex in it.
Let's see. Complaints referred to the novel as filth, trash, and repulsive. Okay.
Can I just say something? Toni Morrison was black. How the hell is it offensive to African Americans?
So
if we
I'm not gonna show the next one because the next one is Gone with the Wind. We can probably guess why that was challenged.
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind is fucking awful anyway.
Yeah.
I fucking hate
How
that.
the hell did it become like a much loved Christmas movie?
Christmas?
How was it ever much loved at all?
It's fucking awful.
Like, it shows on TV here every Christmas.
Frankly, my dear, you can all just fuck off.
Yeah, but then so does Die Hard, but that is an amazing movie.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a good movie. Especially the first one because it's got Snape in it.
Yeah.
And the other one that shows every Christmas in the UK is The Great Escape.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which again is a fun movie.
Imitation of Life's a good movie, but it's a heartbreaker.
So, Native Son by Richard Wright. Never heard of it.
Never read it. I feel like that's a very American one.
Yeah, let's see. Objectionable language, vulgar, profane.
Holy crap! Okay. Yeah. Wow.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
I realise this is an American list.
Yeah.
But there's a Yakima school in West Australia.
Oh, actually, I was born in Yakima.
Oh, cool.
Although Microraptor says if we can ban books of profanity, can we ban precedent grabbing by the pussy? See, I would argue to ban Art of the Deal, but apparently it's very well written, which makes me think he had a ghostwriter.
Can I just say something? The answer is always yes.
I'll bear that in mind, Microraptor.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
So let's see. Most recent is 1998.
Oh, Kentucky.
I can see why this would be challenged in a school.
Yeah. Let's see.
We don't ban books for not being sexual enough, Microraptor. We write fan fiction about them.
Yeah.
That's how we fix that particular problem.
Okay, just...
Oh, we were getting it to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, weren't we?
I can't imagine. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Nurse Ratched gave me nightmares.
Oh, by the way, do you realise there is now a series out on, I think it's on Netflix, called...
Yeah, on Nurse Ratched.
It's on my list.
Story of Nurse Ratched, yeah. But...
It doesn't glorify criminal activity. It teaches you to stand up with the...
Yeah. And has
Put a graphic.
Let's got to bear in mind though that Ken Kesey, by the time he wrote this, was already on the shit list in America for like I don't know, getting half of America high on LSD. So
Let's see. Removed from public school libraries in New York and Oklahoma. Banned in high school classrooms.
Promote secular humanism. What?
yeah, that'd be,
Did they just pick buzzwords and stick it on the form?
Yep.
Well, I mean, oh wow, Washington.
but I said it just said the school board voted to retain the title.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So it was challenged, but it wasn't.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so this is and Washington State is fairly blue.
Yeah.
So most recent challenge was 2000. Teachers can choose the best books, but they keep choosing this garbage over and over and over again.
That was their official challenge. That was their official challenge.
That's brilliant.
Listen, I because I've seen what the next one is. I'm gonna say I'm not a great fan of Vonnegut, but this one, yeah.
I think this is another one. This is another one with a million bullet points.
No spoilers to Ratchet, please.
Yeah, no spoilers for Ratchet, please.
Yeah. Okay. And this is another one with a fairly lengthy list. And it's all basically sexual. Oh, okay. I found an interesting quote. And it's coming from Kentucky. Of course it is.
Of course it is.
The book contains foul language and promotes deviant sexual behavior.
Of all the things you've got wrong, of all the things you find problematic about a book depicting a man's incarceration at the hands of right-wing fascists, that's your issue?
I actually want to ask a question. They're objecting to books over like graphic and sex and violence. Have these fuckers ever read the Bible?
No. That's why they think
No.
They haven't. They've not read the fucking Bible here, have they?
Not a shot in hell have they read the Bible.
Wants to bring her Christian beliefs. Oh, for goodness sake!
Oh God, she's not even read it.
Yeah, she's not read the Bible. Let's put it that way. Well, she's not read the book.
Based on excerpts from books she's found on the internet, she raised objections just on excerpts, never read the books.
So she looked at its Goodreads page.
Yeah.
Well, that is a kind of a serious thing in a way. There, what you just touched on, that people will object to stuff.
Yeah.
Just on what they've heard about something and not actually read.
Can I raise something that's incredibly timely for this?
What?
There is a writer on Twitter. Started out as a fan fiction writer. Now writes original works in the genre of ABO erotica.
Yeah.
And they wrote a story. It's only a few chapters. They released it for free. They called it The Liberator, and it's an ABO story about an American soldier and the commander of a German concentration camp meeting, and some academic who I'm not going to name because we gave them enough shit. Although I really don't think so. Some academic who claims they have a PhD in fan studies, and in which, is very closely related to classical reception, which is my area. And, I'm fangirl extreme, so
yeah,
me,
which kind of what we do on a weekly basis.
Decided to claim that this story promoted that the German commander's political stance and everything else, and hadn't read the story. It wasn't even complete when they started on it. In the first chapter of the story, it's available on AO3. You can go read it. It's free. You can read it and make up your own mind. She didn't even have the decency to do that and claimed it was sympathetic and was anti-Semitic. In the first chapter, in the first 5 paragraphs, so it's not even like a long way down the chapter,
Yeah.
this character was revealed to be a traitor.
I'm sorry,
And was basically had been pulling a Schindler.
I don't mean to laugh. I've just seen the hashtag go across the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, and she didn't even bother reading it before kicking off. Now, this story is absolutely beautiful. And what I'm going to do, obey the tags, pay attention. You know, they've done that deliberately. Has it been removed off AO3? It better not be. I haven't had a chance to download it yet. No, I've got it here. Right. By all means, go read it, make up your own mind. But this is not an anti-Semitic story.
Yeah.
But this person decided to jump on the buzzwords. They saw a Nazi character and they thought, "Oh, anti-Semitism," without even reading it. And listen, I will sit here now. I pass my snarly comments about Hemingway and the occasional about Vonnegut, stuff like that. Most books I have issue with, I've at least had the decency to read, or at least try to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you do not have the common decency and the sense to read a text, you do not have the right to criticize it.
Yeah.
Okay? I have read books purely because I wanted to criticize them because I'd heard they were that bad and knew they would be that bad. Cough, 50 Shades cough.
Yeah.
Okay?
I was going to say, I haven't read that, but I still feel like I can criticize it.
To be fair, you're not missing out. I promise you. You
Yeah,
can. One of the things you can. But the thing is, what irritated me about that, this person claimed to be a researcher with a PhD and yet didn't do their basic research before coming out with this hot take.
Yeah.
And then doubled down on it when called out by the author of the story.
And now it's Hissy's favorite author on this list coming up again.
God, another Hemingway.
Hemingway.
Yep. For whom the bell tolls, Ernest Hemingway. And so it was also in the Turkish book publisher
Istanbul
case from earlier, from Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
But it was also declared non-mailable by the U.S. Post Office in 1940.
How the fuck would they know what was mailed if you just put the word book on the...
How large is the book? Might not go for people's letterboxes.
And so...
Call in the Wild by Jack London. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But
Nazi bonfires.
Go tell it.
Yeah, I'm a weird one because most socialists revere Jack London. I don't, because the guy was a racist.
Am I gonna have to put up another hissy fit?
Possibly. No, it's a hissy anecdote.
Yeah, okay. Hissy anecdote.
A hissy anecdote. So Go Tell It on the Mountain was on my A-level reading list.
Yeah.
Yeah, for who the bell end tolls my corrupt. That's a good one. I'll have to remember that. It's a great story. It's about a young man whose father is a pastor and who is being under incredible amounts of pressure to follow in his footsteps. Young black man.
Yeah.
And it is the language in it is incredibly racist.
Okay, so
it is incredibly sexually explicit, and I'm talking about the first page. The
Yeah.
first page, the father comes out and uses that particular word. So it goes in, guns blazing.
But that's the only bullet point, so we're safe from that word.
But it does use that word quite a lot. And all those things that are listed there do occur in this book.
Yeah.
I was being my fresh-faced, innocent, came through a Catholic school before I'd started my A-levels student, went to my English teacher and said, I don't think this book should be on the reading list. It's inappropriate. It's not an appropriate. And now I was one of only 2 non-white students in the class. And I said, you should not have put this on the reading list without warning us what the contents were.
Yeah.
And my English teacher, who I absolutely cannot commend enough for this, took one look at me and said, well, if you don't want to read it, you don't have to take the class. And when I said, what's that supposed to mean? She said, if you're reading literature and you're not offended, you're reading the wrong books. That's what literature is designed to do. It's designed to make you think. And I think with that one 5-minute conversation at the end of a lesson, when I hung back to say that and have that discussion, and don't get me wrong, I came up against her a few times over different things. She changed my life with that comment. Because she made me realize I had spent a long time, when you're raised in a Catholic education, you read what's familiar to you. You don't necessarily try and read anything that challenges you. You're geared towards it. If something challenges you, you put it down and don't go back to it. She basically opened my eyes to realize that I wasn't going to learn anything if I only read things that I liked.
Yeah.
And that teacher, I still remember her name, but I'm not going to say it because, privacy and shit. She changed my life with that comment, to the point where throughout that year, other students started complaining about this book when they got to it on the list. And I was defending her putting this on the list. Because when she said that to me, I went back and read the book again with that in mind and took away completely different messages and understanding of it.
Yeah.
And I realized she'd put that book there deliberately. She did what all great educators do, and she came in with the shock value.
And challenge the students, which you have to do.
I often would say different subject to like English literature or something, but definitely the best teacher I have had was one who made me think. Yeah. And I don't know if I told you this story, Hissy, but it was actually like a history teacher, and he designed this exercise where he was the Roman Emperor Claudius, and we had to convince him why he should invade Britain, and it made us think about the whole thing, and which was better because it wasn't. I've been so used to people just like, here's the textbook, read the fucking textbook.
Regurgitate it in the exam.
Regurgitate it in the exam, but no, he actually like designed that exercise, which made us think. And I don't know why, just little lesson that just stuck with me in that.
Yeah. So All the King's Men, I haven't heard of it.
Never read it.
I've heard of it vaguely. I haven't read it.
There is a movie version,
one that we all know of. The Lord of the Rings.
Why would
you?
Wow.
Well, there's a surprise.
There's a lot of reasons to ban the Lord of the Rings. That's not one of them.
Not ban. Burn.
They burned.
Burned.
Now look at the date. Is this not when the film came out? 2001. First
around then, yeah.
It's also the same year the first Harry Potter film was released.
Yeah. This was that New Mexico book burning where they were burning all the Harry Potter books as well.
Yeah, height of the early 2000s satanic panic. That's what this is.
Yeah, this is this is 2001. That's like post height of the satanic panic, really.
Yeah, but America had its own little satanic panic early 2000s.
Yeah, the Potter satanic panic.
Yeah.
Or rather when the satanic panic reared its ugly head again, because growing up, in one of those households, satanic panic never ended. It just stopped being mainstream.
It got over They got over heavy metal music and Dungeons and Dragons, and then went to this.
Yeah.
Thing is that they paid attention in the 1990s when you had these bloody black metal bands in Norway who claimed to be Satanists, who were basically people who just read too much Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
and yes, Varg Vikernes, I'm talking about you.
Not to mention the friggin' white supremacists that come out of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I said, there's a lot of reasons not to like the book. That's not a good reason to ban it. Now, if you want to talk to me about racial depictions and the implications of orcs, I'm here for that. I am not here for... yeah, Sammy, it'll do that. Enjoy.
I love it.
Enjoy. But, you know, there's a lot of problematic elements of the Lord of the Rings. But this is people who were spooked by the occult.
Yeah.
And
it has magic in it, so it must be satanic.
Listen, I read Harry Potter. I watched Lord of the Rings eventually because Ring made me, because I was never a fan of it because I didn't like the writing style. But listen, just because I know Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter doesn't make me a witch. In the same way I watch Grey's Anatomy, but I ain't picking up a scalpel and taking your appendix out.
Also, Lord of the Rings is the only actual wizards are actually like essentially angels.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't biblical enough for these people. Maybe they needed like 10 eyes. And
once again, I'm going to quote about burning books or whatever. I'm going to quote Stuart Lee or whatever again, because there was this incident where in America where they burned copies of the Quran.
Yeah.
And said, well, I don't agree with that. You shouldn't burn copies of the Quran. You shouldn't burn copies of the Bible or anything like that. Not when there is thousands of pristine copies of Dan Brown's latest book.
Exactly.
I
mean, the thing is with Dan Brown's books, they are pulp fiction, but they never pretended to be anything more than pulp fiction. It was the reception that made people think they were descended from Jesus.
He stated some things as historical fact in there, which were complete bullshit. Which is why people bought into it.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think he did. I think anyone with Edwent's reading the Da Vinci Code.
He actually did write in the Da Vinci Code. He said, "Look, the following is a work of fiction, but this is fact."
I've read the Da Vinci Code. The way he did it. I take that to be that's the kind of disclaimer that appears in a lot of Ring. Still be back. The Da Vinci Code has that in it. A lot of historical dramas have that in it. If you read a lot of historical fiction, and basically it's that disclaimer at the start of some movies where it says this was inspired by historical events.
Okay, Ring will be back in in a couple of minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
But he did, and a few. Yes, I know a few, but he did definitely present stuff as historical fact, which was complete conspiracy theory.
Do you know how many historical fiction writers present medieval women as lesbians?
Oh,
with
loads.
No historical evidence whatsoever,
loads,
and claim it's historically accurate. It's nice representation, but it's fiction. And there is an undercurrent. When you've read enough books like that, you do begin to realize that disclaimer is there because basically they've used someone's real name somewhere. That's all that means. But people who don't understand that take it way too far. Like the number of people I know who swear blind that the TV show The Tudors is perfectly historically accurate because it's got Henry VIII in it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Exactly. That's all Dan Brown was doing with that. And people have just failed to recognise what that disclaimer actually meant.
Right.
Rings back.
Yeah, I'm back. Just
Can I just mention that in Australia we have two books that I'm like, why are these even banned? And they were both written by Jackie Collins. I mean, there's plenty of reasons not to read Jackie Collins books, but fucking they were banned and are still on the Australian banned list, and that's
Well,
the start.
Jed, I'll actually give
Now,
Australia some
And the
credit.
world is full of
I'm
married men.
I'm not sure if this has been addressed, but it depending on who you talk to, it is either a film by Quentin Tarantino or a genre of really trashy, high low art novels because they were written on cheap paper and that's why they're called pulp.
Yeah, so Pulp Fiction in the parlance I meant is, you know those novels you can buy at Walmart 3 for $5?
Yeah.
That's Pulp Fiction.
Which is very much Jackie Collins.
I very much regard
I mean, it has its
Edgar
place, but it's not.
Edgar Rice Burroughs and Robert Heinlein is pulp.
Yeah.
Authors.
Well, another good example of the pulp magazines or whatever.
Yeah.
Pulp Fictions. Good example. L. Ron Hubbard, before he founded his cult, was a Pulp Fiction writer.
And I mean, Frank Herbert. At least in Dune, he does aspire to be more philosophical and highbrow, but he does put a bunch of good pulpy elements in there.
Microraptor, the way to spot Pulp Fiction, if it's a paperback on cheap paper and you don't have to think about it as you read it, it's Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, or airport bookstore, airport novels.
I've seen some good books in airport bookstores. Don't knock it.
Yeah, I have too. Don't knock them.
But yeah, they're like the cheap mass produced.
I don't know where you're from, Microraptor. I'm from the UK. If you go to Asda and their bookshelves, they're like top 10 bookshelves of pure Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, and pulp is, as a genre, was more mid 20th century kind of thing.
Yeah, it's more 1930s, 40s. I mean, in a way, think of like comic books in word form.
And of course, now we're gonna be coming to something that'll make Scummer angry.
Hold on, Microraptor. If you're from Sweden, Microraptor, you know those books that sometimes appear in the middle aisle of Aldi? They're Pulp Fiction.
Microraptor.
I think you've got Aldi in Sweden, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think isn't it not a Swedish company?
Or Lidl.
One of them's.
Yeah, one of them's Swedish. The books that appear in the middle aisle of that kind of supermarket, those are Pulp Fiction.
The Jungle by Upton Sinclair.
Oh no, actually, Aldi's from Germany. I apologise, but
yeah, but I know it's all over Europe, which is why I gave that.
Okay, burn my Nazi bonfires because of Sinclair's socialist views. Yeah, that's not as a band. Yeah, this is the I love this. The fact that you've got a burned because of socialist views, and then the following thing, burned in East Germany is identical to communism.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. But yeah,
all I'm learning from this list so far is that national governments don't know what communism is.
Well, the funny thing about The Jungle is it's like, it was written as hey, these workers in the meat industry really need us to lobby for them so they have livable working conditions. And what everybody took away from it is like, holy shit, that's what's going into our meat?
Yeah. when the basic effectively the guy was sounds, I think he was basically making a kind of like trade unionist kind of argument, really.
Which is why I'm surprised it hasn't been banned in America.
I think the only reason it hasn't is because it was written in America.
Ah.
And of course,
Yay.
that
Yeah, fair.
guessed about, or
Yeah.
someone guessed about earlier.
I think
Me.
Hissy might have guessed this, actually.
I think it was
but
me and
think-
Jen both
yeah.
said it, didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about Lady Shadley's. Well, Lady Shadley's Lovey was banned in Australia from 1929 till 1967, I think it was. So.
You can get a copy of Lady Chatterley's
certainly-
Lover on Project Gutenberg. That's where I got mine.
It was certainly banned in the UK for a while, but
The book
I
will
mean,
corrupt.
it's sexually explicit. I can understand why.
Yeah, 29
I
to
wouldn't-
65, sorry. So for a long time it was banned here.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in a children's library. But I don't.
Offending Nazis too. I'm getting a lot of use out of this tiny violin.
Yeah.
yeah, that was bad. There was a ban. It was
But-
lifted in 1960 in the UK.
But and is also against the Chinese tradition.
Okay.
I don't know enough about the Chinese tradition to comment on that,
Yeah.
but I'm going to say
that-
no.
1980. That sounds very much like a communist party line.
Yeah.
1987, yeah.
Ooh, Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, I can see why
Oh,
that might
I
have
can
been
imagine
banned.
lots of reasons why this was banned.
Ooh, a bookseller in Torham, Utah was arrested for selling the novel. Charges were later
Wow.
dropped, but the bookseller was forced to close the store and relocate to another city.
You know,
Wow.
the English lit teacher I just fangirled about?
Yeah,
This book
Yeah.
was also on her reading list.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
brilliant. This is a brilliant story, and the film was brilliant as well.
Mm,
So
And when
fucking
Carlos
Mormon.
did the music.
yeah. Well, of
Well,
course, Mormons wouldn't like it.
Well, actually, I mean, and there's a big misconception about the film that it was banned everywhere. It was actually Stanley, the director himself, who took a lot of it out of the cinemas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And let's see. Removed from Aurora, Colorado High School.
Mm. And I've got to say, the reason I think Clockwork Orange is very important right now as well is anyone who has read up on this quote unquote gay conversion therapy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Some of the fucking methods that are used in Clockwork Orange are used in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
That something from that
Yeah.
work of fiction has actually become reality.
And
Absolutely on that trigger warning if you're going to read it.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
will say, part of the banned book week thing is part of the impetus behind banned book week is to encourage people to go out and read books that have been banned.
But proceed with caution if you're going to read Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Especially if you're LGBTQ.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, The Awakening by Kate Chopin.
Chopin.
It was the Christian. It was a Christian Karen pick.
Oh, yeah.
So this is also.
I'm sorry, but that second bullet point makes me really want to read it.
I have this theory. If
Yep, she's
We
back
have a-
again.
I was going to say, I have this theory that if aliens ever invade us and they're Karens, instead of take me to your leader, it's going to be take me to your manager.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the Illinois
Yeah.
school district Karen's back.
Oh, it's on Project Gutenberg. Hold on, let me just click to download that.
I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Project Gutenberg.
Yeah, In Cold Blood by Truman Capote.
Don't know anything about it.
Okay.
No.
Oh, you need to wait for Jeff to come back before we talk about the next one.
Yeah.
Because Jeff will
With
remember
Salman
this.
Rushdie.
Yeah.
They took out a fatwa on him over this book.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not that good a book. I've read it. It's
that name, The Awakening, sounds so queer.
Yeah, it kind of is. That's the entire point, Microraptor. But yeah, the whole Salman Rushdie thing is just, if you've actually read the book, it's.
So here's the plot synopsis.
For Awakening.
Yeah. Set in New Orleans on the Louisiana Gulf Coast at the end of the 19th century, the plot centers on Edna Pontillier and her struggle between her increasingly unorthodox views on femininity and motherhood with prevailing social attitudes of the turn-of-the-century American South.
Mm.
It is one of the earliest American novels that focuses on women's issues without condescension. It is also widely seen as a landmark work of early feminism, generating mixed reaction from contemporary readers and critics.
Cool.
It prefigures the works of American novelists such as William Faulkner and Ernest Hemingway.
God.
But yeah, that's
I will point out, Satanic Verses was actually burned in my home city.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you've seen what my home city is like, Ring. We have quite a large Muslim population, and the book was burned. In 1989, I think.
Yeah. Well, actually, not your specific city, but your area is.
Nope. Yeah.
Your area is Bullet too.
Yeah, and when they say my area, what they mean is my specific city. They mean Bradford when they say West Yorkshire. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page on it here. It says the city of Bradford gained international attention in January 1989 when some of its members organised a public book burning of the Satanic Verses, evoking, as the journalist Robert Winger recalled, images of medieval, not to mention Nazi intolerance.
I've never read it, so
I've read it. It's not as bad as they make it out to be. You have to take it for what it is.
And a fun tease for the next the next section which we are waiting for for Scummer to come back. There's only one bullet point on this that's from America, which is a nice change of pace.
How much further does this list go on for? Because I've just realised how long we've been online.
Yeah, we've been going 3 hours.
Let's see.
I think we've been going like 2.5 hours.
We're getting pretty near the bottom.
Cool.
So, but yeah, I figure
it's nearly 1 a.m.
Yeah, I figure we'll finish up this, we'll finish up this list, and then we'll call it for the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because banned book week, there as long as I have a channel, there is going to be a banned book week special. So there's plenty to cover. But see, why is it always when we're hitting something that Scummer's going to want to talk about that he has to leave?
I think this one Scummer's going to have a lot to say because he will remember this.
Yeah. But yeah.
there's a few coming up on this list because I'm just looking at it now
Yeah.
that are. There's a few of them that I'm mildly surprised at, but most of
Apparently,
them I'm
I've
not.
got a lot to say about something coming up.
Yeah.
Satanic Verses. Go.
I've never read it actually.
Have you
Never
not?
read
Do you
it.
remember the
No.
controversy?
Iran. They put a Ayatollah Khomeini put a fatwa on
Yep.
on Salman Rushdie, and he was which he had to go into hiding for many years.
But
Wasn't
yeah,
he being protected by MI5 for like 10 years or something like that?
banned in Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Somalia, Sudan, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Qatar, Indonesia, South Africa, and India because of its criticism of Islam.
Yeah, I can't. I haven't got as much to say on it as you might have thought because I've never read it.
Yeah,
I would have thought you'd remember a lot of the controversy though.
Yeah.
And
I remember the controversy. Yeah,
yeah. Let's see. Burned in West Yorkshire, England, and
Bradford.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait. Whoa. Ring. West Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Not Yorkshire. It's not a yogurt.
Yorkshire.
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 Hey, when we burn,
Yorkshire.
I can't do Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. Hey, Yorkshire.
Hey, not bad, Jen.
Yeah, if I try, I go too far I go too far north, and I turn Scottish.
Scottish. You got to be careful because if you go too Scottish, you go Jamaican, and that becomes problematic.
Pakistan, 5 people died in riots against the book.
I'm not going to do a Scottish accent.
Okay, so the thing about a
I don't want
fatwa,
to cause Jen to lose control.
does anyone know what a
You're going to go Scottish, are you?
No.
Does anyone know what a fatwa actually is?
I'm
Basically,
guessing the equivalent of a papal bull.
It's a wire who's eaten too much.
Basically, this was a death sentence.
It's kind of, but what this fatwa was specifically, it was essentially a call to arms to every Muslim in the world. Every Muslim in the world was called as their religious duty to take any opportunity to kill Salman Rushdie. That's what it meant. It was basically he put a hit out on the guy.
I think that I think Microraptor is referring to the importance of being earnest.
Yeah,
there are many books about Oscar.
I definitely I do, but I do remember the controversy. And
the one bullet point for this section, which is actually from the U.S.
Yes, but the U.S. doesn't have a lot of Muslims.
Yeah, Wichita, Kansas.
Kansas again, and the wheel spins and it lands on Kansas.
But I'm just feeling so refreshed that that we've hit a book that isn't all America.
Yes, but the reason it's not all America is because America is so Islamophobic. Muslims don't go there.
So I'm just looking at Venezuela's there.
Yeah,
15 months imprisonment for owning and reading a copy. Wow.
I've got a copy of my Kindle.
Oh, you're going to prison if you go to Venezuela.
Yeah. The sale of the English language edition was banned under the threat of fines in Japan. Oh
wow!
Hold on.
Oh, what have we gone here? We've gone past this.
It's been edited out of the list.
Governments in Bulgaria and Poland restricted distributions.
Oh wow!
Whoa, wow! 1999 sentences. Japanese translator was stabbed to death, and it's Italian. Wow.
Wow.
And a Norwegian translator was shot and seriously. Very controversial book by the look of it.
Yeah,
we're very controversial, but terribly written. Can I just? It's not a good book.
But we're gonna have a moment of silence for the people who are injured translating this book. Okay.
Yeah, I think I think it does matter because at the end of the day, as much as I joke about let's ban Hemingway, let's do this, let's do that.
Yeah.
I'm a great believer in all books should be available to all people who want to read them and are capable of understanding them.
I don't have problems with age restrictions, though.
It went a bit closer to the knuckle than that Microraptor, but basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But okay.
That bit of Halliburton was good enough to Jehovah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're only making it worse for yourself.
Sophie's
Okay.
choice.
You're already gonna stone me to death. Jehovah. Sophie's. I don't understand why this was.
Never read this.
So it
I
was
have.
banned in South Africa in 1979.
Okay, so trigger warning for the summary of this, which probably explains why it was banned. But essentially, it's the story of a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
And when she made it out, and I think she made it to America, it's been a long time since I've read it. It's revealed throughout the book that one of the guards or something in the camp at Auschwitz made her make a decision. She had 2 young children, and she was told to decide which one would be gassed immediately and which one would be allowed to live in the camp.
I may have to hit you up for that. Depends on how November goes.
Yeah. It's heart-wrenching, and that's where the term Sophie's choice comes from. It's an impossible decision. But that is a book that's too important to have been banned. That would be the equivalent of banning Schindler's List. I cannot in good conscience agree with that being banned anywhere. Age restricted because of what it is, yes, because I wouldn't want a young child reading it and getting themselves upset, or a young teenager. But banned outright, absolutely not.
And the only listed complaint was for a high school library.
Yeah. I mean, I do have to say, I read the unabridged Anne Frank when I was 9. Yeah. I still wouldn't like that. That was the reading level I was at, and Anne Frank upset me, but I wasn't too young to read it. I would not look back and want myself to have read that at that age.
Yeah.
This again, another one I haven't read here, but
yeah.
What? Why do that? Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
All free advertising is good PR.
Yeah.
I love the to the Smutmobile.
Yeah.
The Smutmobile.
No.
No. No, it's the Scooby Doo gang to the Smutmobile. The Smutmobile, I love it.
Let's see. Cat's Cradle by.
Never read it.
Me neither.
I'm not much of a Vonnegut fan, as I said earlier.
Yeah, and it was just challenged in high schools.
Microraptor, exactly that. Some books should be read because they're difficult and because they're heartbreaking, and a lot of them are in the genre of Holocaust.
And actually,
books.
I'm pretty sure one of the ones that I have a connection to are on this list, but it was also on the 2019 list.
Also, just on that, my school tried to stop us reading The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. So I went to my local library, took it out, and took it to school to read.
Oh.
They said it was too upsetting for us. It's like, you're teaching us Lord of the Flies. You don't get to tell us what's too upsetting.
Separately, challenge is a filthy, trashy sex novel.
Oh, another one for my to-read list.
Yeah. Allegedly offensive language, unsuitable language.
These are all challenged, though. There's no bans yet.
It's all school challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what it is, I can see again an age restricting or.
Now, Naked Lunch, that just sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's a hot meal. You don't want to spill.
Naked
Oh, wow.
Naked Lunch, that sounds like one of Jen's streams.
Yeah.
Naked Lunch.
But,
Oh, wow. Yeah, I should do that.
found obscene in Boston Superior Court.
Okay, this next one, I just...
Bride Ted
What?
Revisited is banned.
What? I mean, it's not a great book, but what?
Alabama representation proposed legislation that would prohibit the use of public funds for the purchase of textbooks or library materials that recognize or promote homosexual. Hold on.
Homosexuality as an acceptable lifestyle.
Yeah. The bill also proposed that novels with gay protagonists and college textbooks that suggest homosexuality is natural would have to be removed from library shelves and destroyed. Bill
Fucking
would
hell.
impact all Alabama school, public, and university libraries. While it would
This
ban,
sounds like Section 28. What the hell?
It does.
It is very sounds like very much sounds like Section 28.
yeah, it could also include classic and popular novels with gay characters such as Brideshead Revisited, The Color Purple, and the Portrait of Dorian Gray. And apparently, this was in 2005.
Wow.
I'm not exactly surprised, considering it was Alabama.
Yeah.
No, I've
Hold
often.
on, whoa. In the state that is famous worldwide for being laissez-faire about relationships between brothers and sisters, they've got issues with gay men.
Yeah.
Hissy.
I got issues with everyone.
Hold on, Hissy. Hold on. They're not that
It's
bad.
the inbreeding.
Hissy, they're not that bad. It's just first cousins, all right?
Yeah, somebody
You
mentioned
put
kissing
this in
cousins
Alabama.
to them, and they forgot to tell them which parts they were allowed to kiss.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like I said. It's
I guess they can't really
the
read
state.
Ulysses.
You know what the state motto of Mississippi is? We're glad Alabama exists.
At least we're not as bad as Alabama.
Yeah. Women in Love, D.H. Lawrence.
That's a classic. What the hell?
Seized by John Summers of the New York Society for the Suppression of Vice and declared obscene, 1922.
Okay.
Basically-
No, it was a
Okay.
long while ago.
Okay, so basically the bigots were out to play.
Yeah.
The Naked and the Dead,
Oh,
banned in
and by the way,
Canada and
Oh,
Australia.
wow.
Titans.
Hey, one of
By the
ours.
way, sorry, Titans actually just corrected me on something on the chat. Actually, Mississippi's worse for incest than Alabama.
Why is the naked and the dead? What?
I have no idea what this book is.
No, I have no
I
idea.
can't understand. It's about the war. Why would it?
Yeah.
Tropical Cancer by Henry
It's been a
Miller.
long time.
Again, never read this book.
Yeah.
There's a lot of books here I've never read, I've got to be honest, coming up in this list.
Deals
okay.
with low love affairs.
And was burned in Nazi Germany because it deals with, okay.
I'm guessing interracial relationships.
Do you know why the naked and the dead
likely.
was banned?
Why?
Because it's honest about the nature of war.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm getting
Yeah.
from reading this.
Okay.
summary.
Yeah.
Rabbit Run. What John up to? Banned in Ireland 1960 because the Irish border censors found the word obscene and indecent, in particular to the authors handling sex, couch sexuality, explicit acts. This is like 1962's Marlon Bundo, isn't it?
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I've just read the summary of the naked and the dead, and
Yeah.
it reads a lot like the plot of what's the Vietnam film with the is it Platoon? The one with the Russian roulette?
Apocalypse Now.
No. Not
Yeah,
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now, someone on the Russian roulette.
No, there's another one where they're forced to play Russian roulette, and it's not Apocalypse Now.
You sure?
Yeah, I think it's Platoon.
And that brings us to the end of the end of the list. I was certain that the Bible was in this list somewhere.
Apocalypse Now. Oh, the Deer Hunter. Hissy, you thinking of that?
Deer Hunter, that's the one. Yeah, I always get Platoon and Deer Hunter mixed up.
I wasn't. Yeah, I had to check. I had to double check that. It is actually Deer Hunter.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
It's been
I've never
interesting
read
going
one
through
of
the
them.
list and seeing the weird things that got banned.
I think I'm surprised by how many of them I've read.
yeah,
Like, I was just unknowingly rebellious.
I'm really interested to read the ones that got banned last year because they all look really good.
I was disappointed I didn't see any Hissy's fan fiction on that list.
Yeah, no, that's too explicit even for that list.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
I don't-
deeply, like, yeah.
Oh, by the way, Titan, yeah, Catch 22 was covered earlier.
yeah.
Yeah.
If no demons are involved, you're doing gay sex wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that's according to Chaucer, isn't it? Because doesn't he talk
also,
about demons flying out?
Well, it's a bit like I saw a meme once from some Christian group saying, and it said, "I smoked marijuana once. Now I'm gay." I feel fucking cheated because I obviously wasn't getting good shit for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah, so I think what we've established throughout this whole thing is if you want to know whether a book should be banned, ask me if I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Henry, we don't like Hemingway.
Hemingway, because you do not like Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
No,
okay,
if I like it, you should ban it.
So quick. So let's do a quick roundtable favorite story regarding a banned book.
Oh, out of that list.
Oh no, just any banned book.
Oh,
I don't think I have one.
what favorite story involving a banned book? Did you say?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't got a favorite story involving a band. I mean, I find it amazing because there's something I brought up earlier.
Yeah.
That we went through that entire list of banned books or banned from whatever, and the fucking Turner Diaries didn't turn up once.
Yeah.
Which shows you a lot about. To me, says you about. a lot about
to be fair, that specific list was a list of classics.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But
yeah.
But even so, I even Googled that, and it's like there's been no attempt to ever ban that book. Which does have a number of things where it's actually has been known to inspire a number of terrorists, not just Timothy McVeigh, but David Copeland as well, who was the nail bomber of London.
But one of my favorite banned book week facts is the Lorax was banned in Northern California.
Really?
Yeah, because it criminalized the logging industry.
Yeah. I mean, at least there's some logic to that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, my favorite one has got to be, I was in high school, I was about 15, and we were in class, I don't know what we were reading, but for some reason I decided I wanted to read the Canterbury Tales.
Yeah.
And I was carrying it around with me because I used to do that at school and just read when I finished my work in every class. And my science teacher confiscated the book and then rang my parents and said, "Do you know what your daughter's reading?" And my dad's response was, "Do you have you read it?" And my science teacher didn't have an answer for him. How can you take it off her if you haven't read it yourself? Give it back.
I find just a couple of the things we've seen in this stream rather funny. That like say works like Orwell stuff being banned in certain countries for being communist propaganda.
Yeah.
and also being banned in communist countries. So,
Mhm.
I
My
find
favorite
that
one from the
funny.
list was the KKK, though, trying to get a book ban. That was
Okay.
brilliant.
It is now my life's ambition to publish a book that the KKK tried to ban.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on.
I could come up with
I'm
a
pulling
plot
up a
story for
link.
you there, Hissy, but I won't repeat it on stream.
So I'm not going to go into detail about it now.
You have way too many stories about banned books when you were raised in an information black hole.
But partially because I already made an edited video about it for last year's Lit Month. So I'm gonna get the link for the.
Oh, there's a question. Has Good Omens, the book, ever been banned?
Oh,
Not that I could find when I was doing some research, but
Because I feel
But I
like that's
believe
a
Terry
very
Pratchett actually has had a couple of his books banned.
yeah.
So
I would be surprised if American Gods by Neil Gaiman hasn't been at least challenged.
I've
imagine so,
never
yeah.
heard of it being challenged, but
But
I mean, I think which I think is a brilliant book, but
my last year's banned book week special covered my that's hold on, gonna cripes, I can't do not click that link. That is the wrong link.
yeah, you realize that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has been banned in some libraries due to its inappropriate words and questioning of religion.
What?
I'm not surprised. Okay.
Whoa, hold on.
Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has been banned in some libraries because it questions religion.
By the way, 1987. Listen, I've just found this because I was googling some. I was googling this. The 1987 edition of Where's Waldo? That's Where's Wally to those of us in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
This book was supposed to make it difficult to find anything. However, it may have shown a little tiny bit of the side of a woman's boob.
Oh, I remember hearing about it.
So it got banned.
Where's Waldo, or Where's Wally, as we know it?
Oh my god!
There you go. Now, can anyone top that as a funny story?
Yeah. But anyways, in regards to Hissy's anecdote about books that challenged you, last year for my banned book week special, I did a video about my reaction to The Handmaid's Tale when I read it as a fundamentalist Christian, and then again when I read it after I deconverted. And
you are very lucky. Yeah. Because you told me when we first met that you didn't like The Handmaid's Tale when I mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
And if you'd been any other person on the planet, that would have been a massive red flag to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry, just putting that out there.
Side bit.
If you have dirty side boots, you need a fucking shower.
Dirty now.
Yeah. But yeah. So I put the link in the chat. I also have a special Lit Month playlist, which will have these streams along with all the videos from last year's Lit Month. But yeah, I hated The Handmaid's Tale when I read it as a fundy.
Of course you did. Ooh. If you're going to read Absalom by Faulkner, you need to then go find Absalom and Achitophel afterwards.
Yeah.
Just Google that; you'll know when you found it.
Yeah.
It's a satire. It's quite fun. I adore the irony of anyone trying to ban satire.
Yeah. So before we finish up, favorite banned book.
Ooh.
Writes a Man by Thomas Paine.
I'd need a complete list of banned books to know.
Yeah.
Books that have ever been banned.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, given that it has been banned in a couple of places. But otherwise, probably as far as classic literature goes, maybe One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I'm just reading through a list to find.
Well, I could probably change my answer to Communist Manifesto because that's probably been banned somewhere.
Yeah.
Definitely. Especially in America.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
apparently
that is
Alice's
not on the
Adventures in
list
Wonderland
anywhere I
was
could find.
banned in China.
Sorry?
Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was banned in China.
Oh, wow.
Is that because Xi Jinping doesn't know the difference between Alice in Wonderland and Winnie the Pooh?
No, it's quote for its portrayal of anthropomorphized animals acting on the same level of complexity as human beings.
Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe was banned in an awful lot of Christian schools, despite being written by a Christian.
Yeah,
full of Christian imagery.
No, you do not want to bring that up on this stream because you will get a ring fit, and we've already been here long enough.
Ring fit.
Yeah, we're coming up on 3 hours now. So.
Yeah, probably Lysistrata was banned in Greece. Probably Lysistrata, looking at the list. Speaking of Lysistrata, if anyone's got Amazon Prime, go watch Chirac. It's a very good adaptation.
Yeah.
But Lysistrata is definitely, knowing that was actually banned in Greece for its anti-war message. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably my favourite book that I know of that's been banned. Although the way I read, how would I know if any of my books had ever been banned or not?
Yeah. The Communist Manifesto was frequently challenged and widely restricted in libraries because of its communist themes during the 50s.
You'd never think it, would you?
Yeah. You'd never guess that one at all.
Yeah. I'd say
there it is.
From the ones,
this tiny little book here caused so much trouble.
June has been banned in a few places too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it has?
Yeah. June has been.
So is Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah.
Out of the ones on the list, I'd say my favorites were probably Animal Farm and Call of the Wild.
On the list, I'd say 1984.
Call of the Wild's a good book. I mean, I'm very different from.
Sorry.
That being said, I vastly prefer White Fang over Call of the Wild.
Yeah.
Oh,
see,
folks, the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's definitely been banned.
Both good books, though. Ring. Even though, believe it or not, as a socialist, I do not like Jack London because I found he's a complete racist. So.
Yeah.
Also, as a reward for those of you who have stuck around this long,
yeah,
I have a confession to make.
Oh.
Have you written a book that's been banned?
No. While I have read The Silmarillion and The Hobbit, I haven't actually finished Lord of the Rings.
No one's finished Lord of the Rings, and if you say you have, you're a liar.
I'm surprised Tolkien finished Lord of the Rings.
But did he? Did he?
So, we'll go ahead and move on to Shilling.
Cool.
Yeah, I've got a
Okay,
YouTube channel,
me
by the
first.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, you first then.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel. God the Scummer. Yeah, come and check us out. And actually, myself and Hissy, we do a weekly collaboration where we're going through the Asterix comics and doing a little bit, I suppose, looking at having a bit of trying to have a bit of fun with them, but also look at the actual history. So a bit of a classical reception, which is something Hissy can talk about at great detail. So
I hope so. It's what I took my masters in.
so
So yeah, come join us for that. It alternates between Jeff's channel and mine. Next week it's on Jeff's.
Yeah. The good thing is
just-
I'm getting all the fun ones at the moment. Hessy's getting all the controversial ones.
Yeah, but I got all the fun ones at the start, so it evens out.
True. Yeah.
So there's that. I don't have much to shill. I've already shilled the Liberator earlier. Again, it's not my story. I'm not related to it in any way, but go read it. It's a great story. And that writer in general, if you find anything by them, go read it. The one thing I do have to shill this week, I have set myself up an alternate Twitter. So if you follow me on my main, don't panic. I'm not going to disappear off there. I am still there. But if you're interested in occasionally when I go on about fan fiction and, not safe for work content and all the rest of it, you need to hit my alternate Twitter. I'm a pro shipper, so I don't deal with censorship in fan fiction. Don't even go there. It's even if it's on Wattpad, it's that bad. I still don't believe in censoring it. So yeah. But by all means, come join us. It's fun. My current obsession is the Hannibal fandom because I just binged that recently. So lots of Hugh Dancy and Mads Mikkelsen gifs floating around. And lots of tweets about how every major actor I have a crush on has some odd resemblance to my husband. So do join me on there. It's Discourse Noodle. You can find the link on my main Twitter, which is Danger Hissy. Read the profile, read the tags. Scroll down, see if you like it. If you like it, give a follow and come interact. Although I will point out, Discourse Noodle, for those who aren't aware, I am very explicitly, as nice as you probably are, if you're a minor, please do not interact with me on that one. Because that is a not safe for work Twitter account. And I don't want any minors, there are legal things going on here. And I share a lot of stuff that is sexually explicit. It's not for me to be sharing that with minors. I don't care whether your parents said you can or not, because I know my parents would have done. For my sake, please don't follow me unless you're over 18. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Although by all means, if you want to bookmark it or whatever and come back on your 18th birthday, fine. But just, that's just my little disclaimer on that. And as always with me, dead dove do not eat. You get it does what it says on the tin. So, just be aware.
And
that's
Jen?
all I've got to show.
Yeah. I'm Jen from Jen's Little Corner. I put everyone's links in the chat, so if people want to follow them through and sub to us all, please do so. I do all sorts of weird-ass content. Mostly at the moment, I'm doing my comedy news show with Panel Show, which is live, but I also do pre-record stuff. Some of them I'm naked for.
Here's me saying minors don't interact because sexually explicit, and then just some of my stuff I'm naked for.
Some of my stuff I'm amazed it's still on YouTube.
Jen, what do you get naked for?
I
mean,
11K views. That's what I got naked for, was 11K views.
11,000 people have seen your shoulders. Shock horror.
Yep. Yeah. See my shoulders and my computer generated pasties. Pasties are what you use to cover your nipples.
Yeah, that's not what a pasty is in the UK.
No, that's actually what it is. That's what they call them. They call them pasties.
Yeah,
I know
that's a
pasties is something you eat, but they're pasties.
Yeah,
that you use.
delicacy kind of exclusive to Cornwall.
As I know what a pasty is that you eat.
I am never
but
going to look
pasties are
at a
also
Cornish
things
in the
used to
same way
cover
again.
your nipples.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be able to eat a Ginster's pie in the same way again now.
Because you know it's covered someone's nipples. That's a whole new sex act, isn't it?
I think we just come up with a new one here.
Hey, Ring, this video just became not safe for work. Sorry.
Ring, if you ever get
At least we waited.
by the way, Ring, we've just ruined your chances of ever getting monetized on this platform. By the way.
Hey, I did that months ago. Keep up, Jeff.
Yeah.
The minute I appeared on his channel, I destroyed any chance he ever had of being monetized.
All I'm just saying is we put the final nail in the coffin right now.
Yeah.
We've just done 3 hours on banned books. I think he knew what he was doing.
Can I just point out the night that we did all those jokes about Kent Hovind in a late night stream?
Christ, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Christ.
Not to mention the jewel encrusted statue of Jesus.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, the jewel encrusted vibrator.
that got wild. That stream, that really did.
That stream was awesome.
Yeah,
I wish I could remember which one it is, but if you can find it and you're watching this,
stream.
Yeah,
it was like a Cards Against Humanity thing that just.
We did Cards Against Humanity. I forgot about that.
Yeah. But yeah, it was my birthday stream.
The appropriate response to that is, "Damn it, Jen."
Yeah.
That was so much fun, that stream. Yes, I take full responsibility for the direction that stream took, but it was fun.
Damn it, Jen.
And of course, on Saturdays I do secular D&D. On Sundays, as you can see, I do media musics. Sometime next month, we're going to start trying to do the Storykeeper streams again. Also, sometime next month, hopefully next week, depending on how Hissy feels, I'm going to want to be talking about Faust.
Cool.
Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus.
Yep.
But everything is all according to the ineffable schedule.
It's ineffable.
I sometimes make edited content when I actually have the energy to, because I work a 6-day week. And I'm currently on Twitter. I am live tweeting my read through of Dune. So if you want to see my takes, and read a bunch of Dune quotes, be sure to follow me on Twitter.
If you want the overall take of Dune, go back a couple of weeks worth of these shows when Ring and I talk about Dune.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if you want to have any corrections on things we missed or messed up, or things that I feel are important that we didn't cover because it had been years since either of us read it.
Read it, yeah.
Follow my Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. And I will just point out, both of us are really, really looking forward to the new series.
Yeah. Also on, if I ever hit 200, I'm either going to be doing an embarrassing story stream.
You have a lot of those.
Yeah, or I am going to be doing a live stream where we go through the cringy book I wrote as an English assignment that I dedicated to Ken fucking Ham.
Wait, that's both the same thing.
Dude, we've got a subs drive on for it to get Ring to 200 subs now.
Yeah.
Oh, we really
I'm
do.
currently
But
at 145.
now I've got a I've got an image, the Doctor Zoo style image of
still haven't
Ken
hit
fucking Ham.
You still haven't hit 150 yet.
No,
Oh damn! We got ring. We got
Yeah,
to do
we gotta
something about.
get-
Yeah, we got to
I've
do something
gotten
about
as
this.
high.
we
I've
gotta
gotten
do
as
something
high
about
as
this.
146, and then I drop a couple, and then I go back up to 146, and then
Yeah,
I drop a couple.
That's happened to me.
Yeah.
That's happened to me like 2 or 3 times since I had my 300 stream.
Also, I have a Patreon and a Teespring.
Cool.
I am currently working on 3 homebrew subclasses for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. And the first instance, aside from me sharing it out to friends for, double checking and for playtesting, will be on the Patreon. And one of the subclasses is a fix for a currently official subclass.
Ooh.
It's for Elements Monk. Is the one that I'm fixing, and then a couple other subclasses that I think would bring something interesting to the game.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Yep. And with that, we'll go to taglines. Scummer?
No taglines. Just say goodbye and salute.
Grace.
As always, take care, be good, and if you can't be good, be careful.
And remember, indoctrination is a hell of a selfie stick, so don't choke on it.
Bye.
Bye.